safer, and now even faster with Spectrum Internet. Visit spectrum.com for details. Based on internet subscribers among top ISPs, speeds may vary. Restrictions apply.
AM 560 KBLU. Russ Clark with you on a Tuesday morning, 6:03. And Johnny's with me.
Good morning.
And Hyundai of You, my advertisers on the show. Get over there. You know, it's been a long weekend. Hope you had fun on the 4th. You did everything you want to do. Now, get up, go buy a car. Just drive by and take a test drive. That's how you get behind the wheel, decide, hey, man, that's different than I thought it was. You know, and I've had that reaction a lot from people. Get in them that better than expected. And I was one of them years ago when I started driving the Hyundais again. I was like, man, I just thought they were basic transportation, you know, and far beyond that right now. And it'll surprise you. America's best warranty, 5 years, 60,000 miles, 10 years, 100,000 miles. Just tell them Johnny sent you.
There you go. There you go.
They're not going to give you any parade or anything. That's fine. So did you have a good 4th?
I did.
I didn't do anything yesterday. I mean, I went out to the fireworks show with the city on Saturday, which was mediocre.
It was mediocre.
Well, just, you know, bad sound systems. You know, you pay $1 to get in. Everybody else was free.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can afford $1. It just ties things up. You have to slow people down, and you know, just I'm like, come on, guys, what are you doing, charging $1? I guess the city's hard up for money.
I don't know, man. Maybe.
I don't know. Well, it's not like they're going to collect a fortune collecting $1. Probably had to pay more for the help to collect the $1 than what they collected. I don't know what that's all about, but the fireworks show was good. You know, overall, it was good. It was just not that big of an event like some of the other places do. Just wasn't that big of a deal. Did you go out at all to fireworks shows?
No, I didn't go any. Yesterday, I wanted to stay home with my youngest son, and we had a Stranger Things marathon.
Oh, I know of the show. I don't think I've done anything on that.
Yeah, it's a great show, and they're on the season 4, I think.
Yeah.
And so I just stayed there, and then when it got dark, we went out and lit some fireworks in my backyard. You know, and
anything that went way up in the air or anything?
No.
Oh, no, you went what? No illegal ones?
No,
man, nothing that went real loud. I didn't even hear a lot last night.
I didn't hear as much last night as I normally do.
There was some, but I didn't hear usually it's like disturbing.
Yeah.
and maybe those articles and the things made a difference in the paper. I have no idea. Or maybe because we're in a recession that's not announced, but
that could be. Yeah.
It's like disposable income for fireworks were curtailed. I don't know.
Yeah, there wasn't as much. And we did some in my backyard with I got a little concrete pad back there, so I lit some off. We got the kids, you know, they get to do it. Yeah, the kids, and they want to do it, so it's like, all right, we did that, and then went back in and watched a couple more episodes of Stranger Things.
Yeah, I took I went out with on Saturday. Went with my daughter, you know, Casey Monster and the Terrorist, and now the new addition, Grayskull.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're just
Grayson.
Yeah, Grayson. He's 5 weeks old now, but I sent a note to the hospital this morning, Michelle Hiddington. You know, my daughter was in a bad way with you know, some medical problems that, you know, put her on a life flight to St. Joe's eventually and all that. But, you know, just thinking of the local hospital and the fact that you know, Grayson's 5 weeks old and things could have gone south. Things could have gone badly. And it needed attention. That you know, pancreatitis or something is what she ended up with, which would you know, potentially fatal, and needed attention and all that stuff. And that was a time when the computers were down.
Mm-hmm.
I
remember
at the hospital. So I was calling, thanked her, and you know that you know, we have a local hospital, and that they're going to see everybody at their worst. You know, Johnny.
Yeah,
you're not going to go there because you're in a party mood and you just want to be around friends. I mean, you go there because, you know, there's something scary, something bad's happening and all that stuff. But yeah, they have to put up with all that, and with me. but it was good. It was good to take the little tykes out. Even Grayskull. He doesn't talk much.
Well, I would imagine. 5 weeks. Would imagine
5 weeks. He doesn't talk much. Communication is there though. You do know, and you do have to pay attention. And I love communications and playing with that kind of stuff. And so, I want to make an impact on him in 5 weeks. So he says, where is that guy? We'll see. I talked to Dean. I wake people up this morning. Well, before I tell you about Dean, I called my fact checker, Satan, this morning.
Okay.
And didn't disturb him. But no, he was... I'll tell you, he was texting me some stuff. That's great information about the Biden administration, talking about getting rid of the racist tariffs against China, and what the impact's going to be in the United States, which would be the loss of jobs, and the markets are getting hit this morning because of that news, because it not a good thing. For us. It's great for China. China's markets are soaring. Ours are tanking. Just at Biden saying, we're going to ship jobs over to China. I don't get this whole. I mean, they're just trying to destroy all jobs or something.
That's just it. It.
Yeah. Well,
he's compromised or something.
So I wrote him this morning. Can't figure out my own phone. I wrote him this morning and called him Satan. and here's what I wrote him. I said, I remember a time when your notes to me were something I look forward to because they mentioned positive direction for the country, industry, innovation, markets, and economy. Now I cringe and think, what now? Which is where we are right now. Yeah. I mean, I'm not beating up on him. I mean, he's not making the policies. It's great that he keeps me informed and all that. I'm just, just not a nice guy. I don't know. But I should just write thank you or something. But I said, okay, Satan, and he writes. He says, I never let go of my Chinese-based plants under Trump, which he reduced them. He moved a lot of industry to the United States because the United States made it very favorable.
Okay.
And that's what businesses do. Businesses don't come here and says, well, you know what? I'm feeling very patriotic today. I want to go lose money in the United States versus making money in other countries.
Yeah.
They don't do that. And he idled a few and put under reduced capacity. Now I close my U.S.-based plants and revive up my Chinese ones once it becomes official. This is good news. Maybe not for the 22,000 U.S.-based plant workers, but they decided that for themselves at election time. I must give the people what they want, even if it's poverty. Right? And I agree with him, and I told him that. I completely agree that this is policy driven, and the business guys are not making the policies. The business guys are reacting to the policies and what's going on with that kind of stuff. So while I'm disappointed about it, it's not him, unfortunately. It's great that he lets us know, but then we need to let everyone else know. We're not headed for better times. The administration has an obligation, make America great again, or make America first, or protect us and protect jobs and all that stuff. I just don't get it. They're not doing any of that, Johnny. They're doing the opposite of that. They're destroying our southern border, internally destroying our patriotism or whatever, tribalism, and pitting one group against another with all the nonsense that's going on. Not supporting industry. Jeff Bezos is making shots at Biden now.
Yeah, when it gets to that point and Jeff Bezos chimes in and lets people know this is either misdirection or a gross misunderstanding of how economies work, that something's going on.
I think so.
Something's up. And I think it was this weekend, or I think it was this weekend when Biden talked about gas companies reducing their rate and how it's the gas companies that are making
right. And he said people that own the pumps and all that. That's mostly mom and pops.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, but it was the other day when I read it, was like 60-some% are small businesses.
You saw what China said, right?
Yeah, they congratulated him.
Yeah,
because now you understand that capitalism doesn't work.
Yeah.
Stuff. Yeah.
It's crazy. That's like
And how can these liberals and progressives and Hollywood still put him up on a pedestal, other than that's what they want? Do they want a state-run everything?
Yeah. That's the direction. That must be what they want. It doesn't make, and they still go out and they lie about this Ukraine stuff and talk. It's for democracy. It's democracy. Why they destroy
Well,
democracy?
you and I might disagree on some of that.
Well, I'm saying it's obvious they lie about it. They don't want democracy.
Who doesn't?
The people. I'm saying the ones that are out there. This administration. They say this is a fight for democracy.
Oh, you mean Biden?
Biden. Yeah. While they destroy our democracy. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, you mean they're hypocritical?
Yeah.
They say they want democracy for Ukraine, but not for us.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
Good morning, you two.
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
So you made a statement, Russ, that why are these elites, Hollywoods, and all these nice people with millions and always on the picture frame, and everybody's into them? Why are they backing up Biden? Well, it's the same reason why our kids are constantly being brainwashed. If you put the elites up there who they already worship, they're going to listen to them on Twitter. They're going to listen to them on TikTok. They're going to listen to them on everything. And now they have their base.
Yeah.
They will absolutely have their base.
I think they don't know, what they're asking for. I don't think they fully understand what it would be like to live in China. I mean, I think they should go live in China or Russia for a year or two and see if that's really what they want. It's not going to be, the comfort that they have today. It's not going to be there.
It's not going to be the comfort. It's not going to be the comfort. However, what is our generation today? I want it now. I want it today. I'll deal with the issues later if I can have it now.
Oh, yeah.
So they don't get it.
No, there's going to be a rude awakening for a lot of the generation today when reality slams them in the face and then kicks their feet out from under them. I don't know who they're going to cry to.
That brick wall hurts.
Been there, done that, right?
Yep. Have a good day, guys.
Thank you, buddy. Bye.
Right.
Yeah, there's going to be a rude awakening, and hopefully, we're preparing ourselves, preparing our businesses, and preparing our children and everything for like, hey, look, and we need to start remembering some of the lessons our parents taught us that they grew up through harder times and less abundance, because that one's going to be revisited.
Yeah, I saw it was on Twitter. Despite there hasn't been a official declaration, if you look at the numbers, we're in a recession.
There may never be, because they keep manipulating now what constitutes a recession. It's if we were under the same numbers on inflation, we would be outpacing the 70s on inflation. But they changed the mix and how it is, and for political reasons.
So we're there, and it's still tough to talk to people and say, hey, like you might want to think about what you're doing here. Like you might want to prepare. You might, even before when
don't take on debt. Don't take on buy now, pay laters. Don't take on all the stuff that you think you need. That is a want and a fulfillment of a wish, versus and put yourself in a place where you can't negotiate the times that are coming.
Yeah, that's probably the best advice, right? Don't do that. But still, people are they're still doing it. They're out there getting the new cars.
And let me tell you what's and it might be right for some people. I mean, maybe it is right for some. It's not. I'm not suggesting everybody go hide and stop everything. No, by no means. But stay within budgets.
You have to stay within your means.
Yeah, stay within your means and work it out. Because everyone needs transportation. They need housing. You can't stop all of that. Yeah. By all means, but just it's not time to buy the high-end luxury model. Maybe if you were to stretch to do it. Now, if you can walk up and pay cash, I don't care. It doesn't. It's not going to hurt you one way or the other. But Edward understands that these things are good for him because he is he's going to pay attention to what the market is and what it's doing and where to put people, resources, and all those kind of things. He's got a lot of mouths to feed. I mean, when businesses become, his businesses are so huge, he can't just say, well, we'll just rough it out and see what happens. Then he wouldn't be running a business anymore. Somebody else would be, and that's practical. We need to run or manage our lives like that too. And look at the landscape. I mean, even during the Great Depression thing, people were becoming millionaires. People were doing very well. Those that were awake and not saying, okay, I'm going to keep doing everything I've always done at this point and move forward. Well, that may not work if the landscape changes. And it's time to pay attention to that and take a look at it and figure out what the landscape's doing and what we need to do to heck, at this point, survive it, hopefully thrive. And thriving is what a lot of people will do during a recession and or during great times. They don't, during prosperity, everyone's doing well. You can make a huge amount of mistakes and still make money in prosperity and huge prosperity. When people are hiring, can't find anybody, there's not enough goods, not enough services. But when it starts becoming that there's more people producing than buying certain things that you're doing, you might be in trouble.
Yeah. Got to be careful.
And you got to be the best at it. All of a sudden, the competition really means something. Like, a lot of people say, don't worry about competition. There's so much business, so, we can't keep up with it. Well, what happens when everybody's keeping up with it?
Yeah.
And so, plan. God, I'm talking like all this negative stuff this morning, John.
Yeah, well,
it's Edward's fault.
Yeah, blame it on Edward.
blame it on somebody. I'm gonna talk about the Highland shooting too a little bit, and usually I avoid these as best I can. I'll talk more about it with Dean tomorrow, but Dean's going to come in tomorrow and talk a little bit about it. Just one thing of interest. Not one thing. Of interest. 6 people dead, 30 injured is just massively stupid, crazy. And we know they caught the suspect they were looking for and all that, and don't know a lot about him. Don't know a lot about anything. But one thing I found really curious was when I read it. They said, he had a rifle and that it was legally obtained. Well, I need more picture about the rifle because, the media and everything has been pushing evil guns, assault weapons, killer weapons. And, like guns have a personality. Well, now this one has no personality. Well, why are they not letting this one have a personality? We need to dress these guns up with a lot of personality and so that we can demonize it. Well, they haven't demonized this one. So I wonder why. What's going on with this weapon? Does it not deserve a personality?
Well, saying legally obtained kind of tells you where they're headed with it, right?
Well, so is Scott Rittenhouse's legally obtained. But of course, that one got tons of personality. And talking about the evilness of that inanimate object. And so I was just curious about just that's odd that they haven't labeled this firearm as anything other than a legally obtained rifle. What is it? I don't know what that means.
I guess we'll find out.
I haven't seen it in so long. The last time I found that curiosity is when we were having all the headlines of Asian crime, Asian hate crime, and all that, which was kind of spooled up to go after Trump because he said Wuhan flu.
Yeah,
and they said that caused all the way Asian hate crime. Look how much it's on the rise. So I think the message went out to every Asian that gets mugged now is a hate crime. We're not gonna. We're gonna,
yeah.
So it started doing that. Well, and there are really a lot of crimes in all communities, and it happens. Well, there were murders in the Asian, and they kept going after it, and at one point they stopped just saying a man with a knife. No personality. It just stopped. It just stopped all of a sudden, and I had to read 50 articles to find out that it was a black man.
Yeah, black guy with a knife.
And they didn't want to say black. Which everything's about race. I feel like something's missing if I read a story and they don't mention race, because that's all the media does now. You got to, it's tribalism. You got to put him in a category. Well, was he white? Was he black? Was he old? Was he young? Was he fat? Was he, was he a transgender? All of those things have got to be in there now. in fact, takes a paragraph to to dress that thing up. You can't just say a man with a knife. I'm not going to accept it anymore. And I had to find out. Well, they didn't want to do it because the articles I read in the Asian papers were, we're tired of these black people killing our Asians.
Yeah.
And it all came to light and it went boom, kind of went away for a while. Although they'll still mention, the hate crimes of Asians are up. That's all they say. But I think they started reporting them as hate crimes, where in the past they would just say a crime, because Asians weren't really thought of as a minority. In fact, what I forget what college it was, it just lumps them with the whites. We can't do that anymore because it's messing up our minority, our minority figures, because we want them to be depressed to show that there's there's a problem, that they don't get as much help. So, but now they can't do it with the Asians because they were blowing the curve.
Yeah.
And we can't do that anymore. Take them out of it. You're no longer a minority.
Yeah, because you're too smart.
Yeah, and that's something. You wake up one day, I'm not a minority. What the heck? What went on? What happened here? I don't get that kind of
messing up those.
I don't get that kind of protection. Well, you guys are blowing the curve.
Yeah, and that was just a clear attack on Trump and the Wuhan flu thing.
Yeah, that's all it was.
China flu and all that. That's all it was. And you could tell once you're awake and you see that that's the way the media operates, you could never go back, or you should never be able to go back and trust them, because everything's going to be skewed. Everything's skewed.
But they wanted you to believe at the time. They wanted you to believe that somebody woke up one morning and says, I hate those Asians because of this flu, and I'm going to go out and do some crime on somebody.
Yeah, that's what they want you to believe.
I don't know that ever existed. Was there crimes against Asians? Yeah, against everybody. There's crimes. And there's been a disconnect between the Asians and the black communities for years. Comedians talk about it. Dave Chappelle's been talking about it for years on how he hates Koreans and stuff, because they ran the local shops in the black communities. And there was always this disconnect. It had nothing to do with Trump. In fact, it was when Dave Chappelle was doing those jokes and stuff back when he was a teenager, long before Trump ever thought of politics. But and then all of a sudden it was all Trump's fault.
Yeah, so you can't trust. I don't trust the media.
But even during the Watts riots, there was a lot of Asians and blacks who had conflict and stuff like that during those kind of things. And now all of a sudden it was Asian hate crimes because of Wuhan flu, and people bought it and they ran with it.
Well, then I think you're saying now with this Chinese tariffs, you're saying they're trying to put race on it, right?
The White House is, yes.
Yeah. So it's like everybody. That's what you see, that you can't go back. I don't trust them for anything. Anything they say, I don't trust a word.
Of course not. No. And we shouldn't trust them. And speaking of gun, I had a listener talk about, maybe it's time for an amendment to the Constitution, because of rapid fire and high capacities and all that from the Highland shooting, which we don't really know what that firearm was yet. I haven't even seen the video of it. I don't know anything about it. And my comment to him is, we should ban all evil guns. Mine, by the way, are not evil guns, because we try to put a personality on these things, on these fire these inanimate objects, and we forget for a minute that there's somebody evil holding it. And the problem is, what did we do to get? How did we miss that? And since we don't focus on it, we can't fix the problem.
Yeah,
we look at the problem as the gun.
Well,
now, do you really think this evil guy?
Well, politicians do, because they don't want you to have guns.
I know.
It's almost like, in my mind, it's like their policies are so bad, they're afraid that we have guns because we might do something with it. That's how it seems like.
But this evil guy that wanted to go kill people in Highland Park,
could
have easily been a Chevy Explorer or anything else, which they did in one parade, remember, recently, and that got kind of pushed that one aside real quick, because we're only attacking guns, not Chevys or Fords. Let's take I say Chevy Explorer, it's a Ford Explorer. Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
That's exactly what we should do, is ban all white Chevy or Explorers.
Yeah.
Ford Explorers. Ban them all.
We can just get rid of them.
Ban them all.
Yeah, they're evil. What's going on, Gilbert?
And we need to ban pencils from schools.
Why?
Because pencils caused me to flunk my test.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then outlaw forks.
Yep. Because they made me get fat.
What's going on, man?
Well, Russ, the Tea Party is always working at stuff. We're always doing something.
Yeah.
And this week we have District 1. How do you say her name? Adeline Henning? Adele Henning. Keith Ware will be coming. We have candidate Anthony Geyer, all running for school district board. Keith and Adele are running for re-election, and Anthony Geyer is he's a candidate for District 1.
Yeah.
We need them three in there to make sure we got a conservative school board here in Yuma. We're hoping to have Tanya Wright, who was the motivator to push to stop that sex ed class they were trying to push on us. What a hell of a motivator she was. She got this community going. We're hoping that she'll be there. She has a very busy schedule, and she's going to try to make it. We also have Michelle Pena, who is a write-in candidate for District LD 23, formerly LD 4. We're going to have all these great people at our Colorado River Tea Party meeting this week. And we invite the community to come in and check them out, ask those questions.
Yeah. Well,
6 p.m.
And that's you just mentioned a lot of positive things that people get involved, which is a great thing. And and I think it took this disaster of the progressives said, man, we just want to do it all. They were firing all their guns to destroy us, and made people stand up that maybe wouldn't have otherwise.
Exactly. You got a lot of people. The fact that we had Keith Ware, he's the one that actually read that program that they were trying to push.
Yeah.
Everybody else went along to get along. It just happens, and it happens everywhere. There are people that engage in reading proposals, and there's some that listen to other people say, "Oh, it's a good idea. Okay, you like it, I like it." But Mr. Ware, he got completely engaged, and he started telling us what's going on, what's actually happening with the sex ed program, and because of him, we got it stopped.
Yep.
And Tanya took over, and she started motivating. She got a hold of me at a Tea Party meeting, and we're going, what? Are you serious?
So meetings this Thursday?
This Thursday, 6 p.m., Community Christian Church.
You got it, buddy. Appreciate the call.
And I'll be calling all week to remind people that we want a large crowd there.
Wouldn't want it anywhere else. All right, buddy. Bye-bye. We'll be right back. AM 560 KBLU.
Going to be plenty hot here across southwest Arizona as we go through the next several days. We'll see a good deal of sunshine the rest of the day, a high approaching 108, average highs right at 107. Clear tonight, a low near 80, and sunshine, a high of 108 Saturday. Mainly sunny weather ahead Sunday, lows in the mid to upper 70s. Highs anywhere from 104 to 108. Monday, lots of sunshine, 101 to 105. And Tuesday, looking at a good deal of sun as well. Highs anywhere from 102 to 106. I'm meteorologist Mark Thibodeau at the Weather Channel.
Quichan Casino Resort is celebrating with a bang during the Stars and Stripes Punch-Out Giveaway. July 2nd and 16th, punch out a star to win cash. Then punch out a stripe to multiply your cash up to 10 times. You could win your share of over $55,000. Play with your Rewards Club card to earn entries. Not a member yet? Sign up today for the chance to win up to $1,000. So much, so close. Quichan Casino Resort.
Must be 21 and older. Management reserves all rights. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP 24/7 for problem gambling.
This advertisement is paid for by Lacuna Ventures, LLC. For terms and conditions, visit yourrights.legal. Attention! If you or someone you know spent time at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina prior to 1988 and developed serious health conditions such as non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, bladder, breast, or kidney cancer, you may be eligible for significant financial compensation. Call Camp Lejeune victims to discuss your case now at 800-635-7407. Leaking underground tanks contaminated the drinking water with benzene and other highly carcinogenic chemicals, up to 280 times acceptable levels. Marines, their families, contractors, or employees who spent at least 30 days at Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune before 1988 and developed a serious health condition, call to determine your eligibility for financial compensation. If you don't win, you pay nothing. It is critical to take action and call now. 800-635-7407. That's 800-635-7407 or visit CampLejeuneVictims.com.
Achieve
Human Services. Unique individuals, empowering solutions.
Cost of landscape, maintenance, supplies, and equipment, thousands of dollars. Time it takes to mow, trim shrubs, trash pickup, and sweep off the walkways, 6 hours. Having Achieve Human Services maintain your business's property, priceless. Achieve Human Services, helping people with unique abilities realize their greatest potential through employment opportunities. For more information, call Achieve Human Services at 928-341-0335. That's 928-341-0335.
Achieve Human Services. Unique individuals, empowering solutions.
Our border is under attack. Criminals, drug cartels, and human trafficking. Biden's border crisis has become Arizona's crisis. The police are Arizona's only line of defense. They've got our backs every time. And when it comes to electing Arizona's next top cop, they're taking a stand. Law enforcement groups across the state have endorsed Rodney Glassman for Attorney General because Rodney has their backs, saying Glassman will keep our citizens safe, uphold the rights of police officers, and that Rodney's committed to the rule of law. Glassman is an Air Force JAG prosecutor and a Trump conservative who will secure our border and get illegal drugs off our streets. He's the only candidate endorsed by law enforcement across Arizona because he'll stand with them every time. Rodney Glassman has earned their support, and he deserves our vote in the Republican primary.
Paid for by Glassman for Attorney General, authorized by Rodney Glassman.
AM 560 KBLU, Russ Clark with you, and Johnny Porter's in studio.
Yes, sir.
Someone asked me about the Tea Party. Want to know where it's located. Said Community Christian Church is where it's located. The address is 6480 US 95. So you get on 16th Street here and just head east, and you'll see it on the left-hand side. I think it's before you get to Araby Road. It's before you get to Araby Road. So out in that area. 6480 US Highway 95. Let's see, and that'll be 6 o'clock. Okay. And Edward and I have been texting this morning. He's out on the beach somewhere, he says.
That's nice.
Yeah. Says he's enjoying life's good, and he's on his laptop doing real work at the same time listening to us ramble. And I said, I take it you're not sitting with your mother-in-law. See, everybody has Achilles heels. Mother-in-laws can be a problem. Regardless of your income level or what you do. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't make it easier. I guess unless he's got bodyguards, it could say take her away, but I think that would have other issues. I think that would make an unhappy household. So I'm sure he can't do that. He brought me a story here about a statistic about we've been having declining carbon emissions in the United States, and of course continue to decline under President Trump and everything else. We're using less oil than it was predicted. They start predicting those things over a 10, 15 years where it's going to be. And those charts kept showing oil shooting up, but which it didn't do. We leveled off and declined some of our oil using. And that's just through smarter stuff, smarter cars, all that kind of stuff. But President Joe Biden's first year in office, emissions rose. In other words, not only have the Biden's energy policies been a disaster for economy and national security, as we have become more dependent on Russia and Iran, which is true. It's not that we're using less oil because we're not manufacturing it. We use the same amount.
So, okay. This is the frustrating thing, and I'm going to let you get back to it. This is the frustrating part, right?
Yeah.
I love our environment. I'm a recycling guy. I'm a green guy. I like that kind of stuff.
I respect that.
Listen, but I'm not an idiot. Right. The idiots fall for this thing from the government, thinking that if they jack up our policies, that it's somehow going to fix this thing. No, it just shifts it over to, like you said, Russia, these other people, and they make the money. They prosper. China does good, and Russia does good. These other places do good, and we don't.
And they don't even do it clean. I mean,
no, they don't do it clean.
No, when we're doing all the mining and everything, we're under tougher regulations. Russia doesn't have that.
No, they don't.
China and all that stuff.
China, India, all these places, like they're polluting.
But here's what Biden's doing. That's a cheap way to reduce. It becomes so god awful expensive. So his idea is to punish us into using less versus having smart alternatives.
Yeah, and
we don't have time for smart alternatives.
You saw the latest clip that went viral, I'm pretty sure.
I did not.
When they asked one of the guys in the Biden administration, I think it was on
the liberal.
Yeah, the new liberal order.
Liberal world order.
Yeah, the liberal world order.
Of course I saw that. That was his guys.
Yeah, so it's like, it's like, I don't know why he said that. Like,
because they're supposed to do it behind closed doors. They don't do that in public. And I'm sure he got spanked. He got spanked for that, I'm sure.
He's trying to tip us off to something. But so it's like they don't fall for it because it just shifts. The energy is still going to be consumed, but you just have a different supplier supplying it. They're making all the money.
Supplier, and we're spending so much more.
We're spending, yeah.
And now people in Hollywood have said, though, I don't mind paying $10 a gallon because if it reduces, they'll say that. Of course, they've got $10.
Yeah.
The people who are going to suffer in this are
the people that they pretend to care about.
They don't care about them.
Yeah, the people they pretend, the poor, the poor, the less fortunate. Yeah, you don't care.
I don't think Edward is sitting there on the beach and thinking, I really can't take that Sunday drive this weekend because I can't afford the gas.
No,
he's not going to do that. It's the rest of us that are going to do it. So it doesn't matter if it comes from Russia or Iran for him, but for all of us, it does. And look, at some point, if prosperity stops, everybody's affected. The whole country's affected. It affects the GDP in the whole country. It affects the whole thing. It's the middle. It's the middle class that really pushes the prosperity, and it's the small business guys that really push everything. And you start hammering all those guys, and you're going to find a huge reduction, and it's going to shock everybody. And then the Biden administration is going to have to, take over more.
Yeah,
and make you more dependent on government.
Well, that's the way it trickles down, right? So that's what they have, their bad policies. They get us into a bad place, and the government says, "Well, now we'll have to do more.
We're going to save you.
We're going to save you." So it's like you see what's coming. If you're awake, if you're one that pays attention, you see what their playbook is. It's pretty simple. It's pretty easy, but the fact that people believe it is just absolutely insane. When he's out there saying, "Oh, produce more oil," and the people are like, "Yeah, they're evil because they're not producing more oil," when they have no idea that these markets play off of the future, right? Yeah. And he's saying, "I'm going to restrict your future. So if you sell at a cheaper price now, you're just going to lose in the future." Yeah. It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
But
good luck explaining that because they won't listen long enough.
No, they won't. My liberal friends are like, no, they're just evil people, evil capitalists.
So change your tactic, Johnny.
What?
Ask them to explain how it works.
I will. That's what I'll do next. They won't even care. They're
well. I just wonder how much in depth they really understand. Yeah, ask them to explain it to me. And see if they can articulate it. And maybe they will. Maybe they'll start thinking about it and say, "Well, if we don't produce oil here, then we're going to use less."
They
won't say that, will they?
Nah, because that's stupid.
They won't say it. Say, how does that help us? Elon Omar apparently has been running into some challenges. She's a squad member. I don't hear a lot about her. She's the one that married her brother, and then got to the United States and pushes the Quran and.
Well,
Sharia law.
I don't think she pushes it.
Oh yeah, she does. Sharia law and stuff. She has. Oh yeah. I'll find the articles on it. Yeah. And then, but she's part of the squad that have the far left progressive.
Yeah, she has a far left. Yeah.
And apparently she was booed at a constituents booed her at a concert.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. You go to a concert, you're a celebrity, and you stand up because someone says, "Oh, look who's in the audience." Elon Omar, and everybody boos. That's not good. Her challenger was Cicely Davis. She points out how out of touch and ready for change. And I don't know if that I don't know what the concert was, or if it's part of her base, not her base. I don't know, but interesting, and it's eye opening if somebody does that in large scale to that. But does that mean people are getting tired of the squad, getting rid of the far left? I don't know.
Yes,
I don't know.
it is happening. It is happening. People are getting tired of it, and they brought her out there. I watched the video. It was great that they booed her. I'm so glad.
Yeah. Let's say a phone call. You're on the air.
Hey, Johnny.
What's up?
One, I got to agree with you. I hate to laugh at people for, stuff, but I was enjoying. I was smiling. I was yelling, yeah, get her, get her, get her. I enjoyed every bit of it. Every bit of it.
I figured you'd go over and give her a hug, man. You're nicer than that.
Well, yeah, I would give her a hug, and I walked her off the stage. I whisper in her ear, darling, it's time for you to leave.
It's time to go.
Let me help you.
Yeah.
At least I wouldn't grab that hook and take her off the stage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's got to be eye-opening for her. I hope it is, man. Appreciate it, buddy. Take care.
I'm just hoping. I'm hoping they do the same thing with the Maxine Waters. I'm hoping they'll do the same thing with Pelosi. Maxine Waters. I just don't understand why that. I almost said that bad word started with the B.
She's, and I'm glad you didn't. But she's not going to go to a venue that that would leave herself open. I think she's smart enough to stay away from most.
No, I'm going deeper than that. Why was she not arrested for telling people to get in people's faces at restaurants? You see any Trumpers, get in their face while they're having dinner, yell at them. Yeah.
Because she's a Democrat.
Well, yeah, we know that. Just like those guys up there in Tucson, everybody's celebrating God-given America, and these guys are throwing the F-bomb at the 4th of July.
Well, that's just the Democratic Women's Party. I don't know if the guys are the same. I don't know.
if their wives are there, they're there. A happy wife, happy life, right?
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. But see what we're dealing with, and then this idiot that shoots these people. I saw a picture of him. This guy is not going to live long in prison. He is going to be somebody's boy, inside and out.
That's information I don't need to know. But yeah, he is he's not a special forces guy. He was
He's a wimp living in mommy and daddy's basement, probably.
Yeah, he's facial tattoos, and he's a rapper that's 21 or 22 or something, and some
probably watching those videos.
He's a punk.
He's you got that one. That's what's going to happen to him in prison.
We'll see, man. Take care.
For a pack of Marlboros, maybe.
I am leaving you. Goodbye. I'll be back. AM 560 KBLU.
Advertising is both an art and a science, but truth be told, it is more art than science. The science part, that's the easy part. Reach enough people enough time with the right message and you win. The art is a bit harder. It is knowing what to say, how to say it, and how to get it to have an impact, to resonate with your audience. To make sure your messages have the biggest impact, doesn't it make sense to hire an artist to make them for you? Talk with one of our marketing artists, the experts in connecting your business to greater Yuma. Go to yumaadvertising.com today and make an appointment.
Manufacturers in the U.S. are driving the economy and rebuilding supply chains amid historic worker shortages and record cost increases. But now, Congress is threatening to raise taxes on manufacturers and small businesses. Taxes won't strengthen supply chains, promote energy security, or spur new investments and fill vacant jobs. Tell Congress to say no to taxes that would devastate small manufacturers and family businesses. Paid for by the National Association of Manufacturers.
I tend to second guess dinners with friends because they're often interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit Creon.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREON.com.
Come on in, boy, sit on down and tell me about yourself. So you like my daughter, do you now? Yeah, we think she's something.
AM 560 KBLU. Russ Clark with you on a Tuesday morning. That means Johnny's in town.
Yep.
6:48 now. Ralph called, he texted me this morning, wanted to know what the problem was with eggs in Walmart. Now I got a couple of articles on it and looking at them, but it looks like and it was some lame thing they put out there that because of COVID, people ate less eggs and now they're eating more eggs. That's it really.
That's what
the people got COVID to eat less eggs. I don't know that doesn't sound right to me. And then you were saying that they had to kill a bunch of chickens due to some kind of bird flu or something.
Yeah,
but that was so long ago. They would have replenished them by now.
Yeah, that was April.
Yeah, May, June.
That's not that long ago.
No, it's not that long ago. Well, chickens start laying eggs in 18 weeks, 18 to 22 weeks. It says, from birth to lay eggs. I mean, they replenish pretty quickly. If they have to.
But over. This article was just in April. You don't know how long they went killing all these chickens.
No, but you would think it would be a front page of they were still killing chickens. And when they write about it now, I'm reading some of the articles about it, and they're not saying anything about a flu issue. They're just saying a COVID issue, which really doesn't make sense to me. That because of COVID, people were eating less, so they cut back on everything, and now they got caught shorthanded.
I don't know. But yeah, my sister took a picture of the egg section at Walmart. Yeah.
Well, tell the chickens to work second shift. We need more eggs. If that's it, it doesn't make sense to me that we have fewer eggs because and I did hear, it wasn't that long ago it was 6 months at least though in Arizona.
Maybe, yeah, but this is in like Iowa and stuff, and this was just in April, mid-April.
Well, take a phone call. You're on the air.
North Carolina, Raleigh.
Hey, good morning, North Carolina. So, do you haul eggs at all?
I don't. They are the grocery stores are not receiving as many eggs as they're ordering.
Okay.
Let's say you order 100 dozen, you'll get about 80 or 90.
So there is a supply issue.
There is on there, and a lot of it comes down to like Johnny was saying, and also the increased cost.
Well, but wait a minute. If there's a supply issue, the cost of eggs has gone way up. I used to see it for less than $2 a dozen. Now that doesn't exist to my knowledge. I haven't seen that. They just charge more. So
that's supply and demand right there.
Yeah, but it sounds to me like that flu thing happened a while ago, and eggs mature. Chickens mature so fast, laying stage.
Yeah, you're talking 90 days.
Yeah, and they're ready to go. Man, we got new chickens.
And may I suggest, like Johnny was saying, there was that epidemic among the chickens that killed them.
Yeah.
Those are all insured. So that they can pick up and produce again rather quickly, because it happens quite often. We just don't notice it in the grocery stores.
Okay. But somehow we've gotten behind. And one article I read was because of COVID, people started eating less eggs. I don't know. Well, I'm scared of COVID, so I'm not going to eat eggs. Did people think eggs was a problem?
Well, Putin did that, right?
Putin maybe did it. And maybe these are Chinese eggs. I don't know. We're not importing eggs. It's all coming here.
And chicken. That senator, was it Omar that that married her brother?
Ilhan Omar that married him.
She also tried to sponsor Sharia law into our U.S. court system.
There you go. I knew she was a Sharia law gal. Yeah.
She is.
Yeah.
She wanted her own separate legal system.
Yeah. For Minnesota or something, or did she want it for everywhere? I don't know what she wanted. I can't remember now. But I remember
her ideas didn't go anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, they shouldn't talk about it now much, or at least it's not reported anyway.
Yeah. Are you a Steve Forbes fan, as in when he speaks about financial stuff, you stop and listen?
I do stop and listen. Yeah.
I don't agree with his politics, but his money and his economics is sound as far as I can tell.
Uh-huh.
He wrote a book. It's called Inflation, and he's been on these talk shows promoting his book. I listened to him speak for about 2 hours.
Uh-huh.
He had a couple pointers that was very interesting. Larry Kudlow, about 6 months ago, said that we would need to raise the interest rate up to 12% to stop the inflation and to put things back where it needs to go. Steve Forbes turned around and he's again promoting his book, said that would just kill the economy. There just wouldn't be anything left. He presented a different idea. Steve Forbes did. Now I have never heard of this, so you tell me what you think. What you do is you open up the energy sector. This is Steve Forbes speaking. Take away all these rules and regulations. Stop printing the money. Don't do anything else. And he said the economy will grow so fast that the inflation we're experiencing today will go away. The economy will grow into the money supply.
Yeah.
And there isn't anything you need to do. You don't need to raise the interest rate. If you do that, what do you think about that?
I think I like Steve Forbes more now. But, and that's something that President Trump was doing. And part of the opening it up, and when you say open it up, Biden will say, well, they got thousands of leases. When it's not that. When you open it up, you build pipelines and you give them favorable political stance, and you get the EPA to get off their backs. See, Trump had a different EPA directors that were working with business instead of shutting business down.
Yeah, so instead of raising interest rates, get the economy growing, and it grows into that monetary inflation problem and just soaks it up as it's growing. It just disappears.
Yeah, I'll have to. So we can't do that because Edward's already moving. He's opening up some of his China plants. I don't want to upset him.
Well, you want him to have a good day at the beach, don't you?
Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll do it. Yeah. We need to. I think the solution's that simple, because what you mentioned that's simple is the government to stand out of the way.
Yeah.
And it can be that simple. It's just get the hell out of the way, stop, reduce regulation and start, realizing that businesses and economy and all that, they're clients too to big government. I mean, they're voters and we need to respond to them instead of fighting them. Find out ways.
And when that economy is growing, guess what our taxes are doing? They're just flowing into the government at record high levels.
Yeah, and then those jerks will spend it. We need to, but we need to do that. I mean, get smaller government. I think I can't disagree with any of that. I think that always helps. Now, when it starts coming to what it does to inflation, I'd have to refer to Edward on that. But it sounds like a part of the solution for sure.
We're not that far away from price controls. I don't know if you remember back
Nixon.
in the 70s, all those price controls.
It was ridiculous. It did not work.
And they're just going to rename it, call it something different, and try it again.
They did that. And I remember it was one of like a Home Depot type stores where there was a price control on plywood. You could not raise the price of plywood. If a sheet of plywood was $10, you can't make it 11. So all of a sudden it became, you would lose money. So you have to either stop selling it or you make it something other than plywood. So what they did is they had pre-drilled plywood, and they would put a small, like a 1/4-inch hole in one corner. And then it was a pre-drilled sheet of plywood, which was $15. The regular plywood's $10, but they didn't have any. Yeah, that was the game that started being played. It was just stupid. It was that micromanaging of the business is not going to work. Not going to work.
That's the opposite of getting out of the way.
Yeah, get out of the way. And the market will take care of itself if you don't jump in and do something to screw it up.
Well, you know, if you look at the stock market right now, it's going up and down like somebody's zipper. And in my opinion, Harry S. Dent said the stock market has never outrun inflation. Inflation's always caught up to it and then adjusts. And it's never adjusting up when it's adjusting to inflation.
Yep. Yeah, you can't trick it. It's just
all the signs are there. We're looking at all the signs. If you were to map it out and put it in a timeline, it's happening. This has happened before, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But what's going on here has happened before in U.S. history.
Oh yeah, this is nothing new, but we haven't learned from it, I guess.
I guess not. New generation, maybe.
No, it's just time has passed and politicians are taking shortcuts. It's just crazy. I mean, you would think that Wealth of Nations would still be read because the basic human nature hasn't changed, and all the policies that work for economies are really observational policies. You don't have to tweak them.
The laws of supply and demand haven't changed, and I don't think they're going to change in the future.
Nope. I don't care what you call it. A lot of that's going to be pretty basic. Can governments do something to help it? Yeah, they can help the infrastructure and help, transportation, help all that by having good policies to make it all happen.
From the 1 hour air conditioning and heating studio, this is News Talk 560 KBLU, Yuma.
He's still described as a person of interest. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The 21-year-old jail in Highland Park, Illinois, after yesterday's deadly 4th of July parade shooting.
We heard a few faint, distant pops, which all of us believe that were just, fireworks.
Then parade goers realized it was a lot worse.
Very closer, loud pop, distinctive pop that was clearly not a firework. And that's when we noticed the crowd scattering, running in opposite directions.
6 people were killed, at least 30 injured. That person of interest is Robert Cremo III, said to be an aspiring rapper from Highland Park who
previously posted disturbing videos on social media. Several of those concerning social media posts have since been removed. The questions we have this morning are, did law enforcement know about those videos, Bill, and was there anything they could have done to prevent this shooting from happening?
That's Fox's Grady Trimble in Highland Park talking to Fox's Bill Hemmer. President Biden says more needs to be done to stop senseless gun violence. Police in Philadelphia looking for the gunman who shot 2 officers last night, both released from a hospital. Pro-choice activists are planning protest marches this weekend in Washington, D.C., following the Supreme Court ruling that undid the federal legal right to abortion, leaving it to states to regulate or ban it, like Mississippi. And 2 days before that ban takes effect is a hearing in state court on a lawsuit which contends both Mississippi's 6-week heartbeat abortion law and its all-encompassing so-called trigger law abortion ban violate the state's constitution. Jackson's Women's Health Organization, the clinic whose federal case led to the overturning of Roe, now claims Mississippi's state constitution protects abortion as a right. That's Fox's Evan Brown. On Wall Street, more selling, a lot of it this morning. The Dow is plunging 595 points. America's listening to Fox News.
Life is about being active. Whether it's about going on your daily tasks or exercising, you're well when you're regularly active. But what happens when being active actually hurts by the end of the day? This is the position I found myself in a number of years ago. Everything I wanted to do in my daily life, all of the activity it called for, was held captive to almost constant nagging pain. When I heard about Relief Factor, I was skeptical, but my wife said, give it a chance. Not long after I took it, I could feel the pain begin to melt away, and I've been taking it ever since. And I can tell you that Relief Factor has helped me get my life back. I love that it's not a drug, but it was developed by doctors, and about 70% of the people who try it go on to order more. Your first step to becoming pain-free just might be ordering a 3-week quick start for only $19.95. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF, 800-4RELIEF, or ReliefFactor.com. Find out all about this offer and feel the...
Truckmates, Yuma's Fix Up Your Pickup Truck Store. It's Yuma's home for snug top shelves and lids. Snug Top, designed and manufactured to the highest standard. Industry-leading quality and trend-setting design to protect and complement your vehicle. That's Snug Top. Truckmates is also your Line-X spray and bed liner dealer. Line-X, #1 in America for spray-in bed liners. With nationwide warranty coverage, is now available and installed by Yuma's most experienced spray-on team at Truckmates. So protect your vehicle inside and out with Line-X spray and bed liners and snug top shelves and lids at Truckmates. Truckmates is also your home for BDS suspensions, the highest quality aftermarket suspension lift kits, leveling kits, and accessory for 4x4 off-road truck and Jeep enthusiasts. And BDS suspensions are backed by the best lifetime warranty in the industry. BDS suspensions, Line-X spray and bed liners, and snug top shelves and lids at Truckmates in its brand new building, same location, 32nd Street next to Lowe's.
Living between two countries at the same time comes with a world of possibilities. Whether I'm here in the U.S., I'm always local. I have my work here. Shopping here. Went to school here. And on the weekends, I'm surrounded by thousands of fans cheering our baseball team here. Whether I'm here, only AT&T's network stays AT&T on both sides, so I'm always local.
Use your AT&T plan in Mexico like in the USA. No catches. 2 countries, 1 network. Only with AT&T. Available for U.S. customers. Requires eligible plans. Additional speed coverage and other restrictions apply. Visit att.com/onenetwork for details.
Your next sports bet is closer than ever at Paradise Sportsbook. Kick back and experience live sports betting right in Yuma. There's nowhere better to place your bet. So much action, so close to home.
Paradise Casino.
Must be 21 and older. Management reserves all rights. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP 24/7 for problem gambling.
AM 560 KBLU, Russ Clark with you on a Tuesday morning, 7:05 with Johnny Porter.
Good morning.
Hyundai of Yuma, advertisers on the show. Go take a test drive. While you do, tell them, hey, look at my car. I want to maybe sell that, trading it in, take a look at it. And when you get back from the test drive, they'll probably have it all ready for you and say, look, about your car, here's what it's worth to us. And they say, sounds good, to cut me a check. And they will. They'll buy it from you. They'll just buy the cars outright. And the need for used cars is out there too, as well as the need to sell them. So they operate like that. But the new cars, anything from the Accent all the way up to the Palisade, they're going to find one that fits you. Electronics, gadgets galore, because they pride themselves in making sure that happens. So go take a test drive. Do yourself a favor. Look at everything. Look at the competition too. Can make the comparison. They're not afraid of that. The Guardian reporter apparently has, and this is a Julia Carey Wong. She's a technology reporter. Has got herself some noteworthiness over some comments and other outside her technology stuff. It's fair, but she on Sunday. She's based in San Francisco. On Sunday, she said, deeply disturbing that the UK media status quo of transphobia is entering U.S. news media in what's called a bigotry creep. It's all new stuff to me.
Yeah, whatever.
I think that we're entering a period when the most meaningful political distinction will be fascist and anti-fascist. And I want to get back to that, but it's really important to understand that transphobia is one of the most potent entry points to fascism today, and act accordingly. Now, where did fascism become concerned with transgenders and stuff? Is that part of a fascist issue? I don't know. I think that's part of that whole redefining terms.
So you're asking, why are they labeling these people fascists?
Yeah. Why does transphobia come into it? into fascism. I thought fascism was more of a political structure. Of
So they
power.
call anybody a fascist that doesn't agree with them, right? So it's kind of like
I think
doing
that's
the
true.
Nazi.
I think that's what it is.
Well, yeah, like Alex Stein just went to the Pride event and he was asking people if they believe in my body, my choice, and most of them said yes, but he said, okay, what about with the vaccine mandate? And then they got mad at him and they said, you're a fascist. They
And
just
that's
call him a
her
fascist.
answer.
Yeah, they're a fascist. And
okay,
he's like, no.
So it's just
like yeah.
Part of the, we can change the definition we want to, like
Yeah.
we do pronouns and everything else.
Yeah.
Because I don't know where the fascist, because they don't want to use Nazi anymore. Nazi's too much of a controversial thing.
Yeah, so it's fascist now. That's going to be the one.
Well, and it's going to quickly become like Nazi, where no one's going to use it because it's just overused and nobody knows what it.
Well,
what you mean by it.
I think fascist is probably the best one for the bill, though. I think that one's going to go a long ways. I think fascist is going to be the one.
To what you mean? Stay,
and it's going to be more popular than calling somebody a Nazi.
But I don't think anyone knows what fascism means.
Well, they don't have
it's just
to.
anything I disagree with.
Well, because if you talk to the left, they think that Trump was a fascist. They would say he's a fascist.
And I would say, in what way? What does he do with fascism?
But I forget. There's a quote that says, "Fascism will rise by those that are against fascism." Right? That's like
that's funny, and I think that's what we see.
I saw it. It was a graffiti. Yeah, that's what you see, because that's what the Antifa, that's anti-fascist, right? That's
they're
what
the
Antifa
fascist
stands
group.
for. And they're a fascist group. You're right. They want to impose.
They want to control.
They want to control. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, this whole thing with Carrie Wong was stirred on by another article by Pamela Paul, and I'll tell you about that one and what stirred that on after the phone call. You're on the air.
Hey, Russ.
Good morning, sir.
You might need some help on that fascist definition there.
Go ahead, help me.
Well, Mussolini defined it. I didn't define it. Mussolini did, and Hitler left it.
I agree with you, but
okay, for Mussolini, it's a simple. He made the trains run on time. Who did the trains belong to? They belonged to corporate power.
Yeah,
they did, until the government, confiscated them. But no, fascism is only this. It's corporations doing the bidding of the government.
Yep.
That's all it is.
Well,
nothing more.
And the government decides where you will operate, how you'll operate, and where you're going to live, and all that stuff. And
yes, and the corporations do. Remember the All-Star game being moved out of Georgia?
Yep.
Biden couldn't make a move, but who did? The Corporation of Baseball did.
Yep.
Moved them. And Delta. Government couldn't make Delta move, but Delta moved also, remember?
Yeah, but that was their choice. I don't think the government wrote an edict that you have to. Yeah.
This is where you're making excuses. I'm just telling you what fascism is.
Right.
It is corporations doing the bidding of government. That's all it is. Now, we had 137 individual train companies in 1950.
Oh.
137 major train lines, like Rock Island, Katy, Santa Fe, all those, Union, whatever, Pacific, they're all different names. We've got it down to only 7 companies, and 4 of them are in Canada.
Wow.
This is where Americans are asleep at the wheel. So if you're going to talk about fascism, what type of government does the Queen of England philosophize? It's socialism. It's the only way it can work. She keeps promising them freedom, but remember, they have no guns at all in England, nor Australia. Anywhere she's the head of the state of the government. See, she's the head of state in Australia, New Zealand, Canada, and UK. But they don't like to admit this when they travel. They like to brag about their socialist country with socialized medicine. But the Queen still runs everything. She's rich. She's got the money.
She does
that. She used to be, well, they are German. The Queen is German. You know that, right?
I knew they used a lot of German ancestry. Yeah, I did know that.
No, they are German. They changed the name to Windsor.
All right.
Yeah, that's what they did. So they got a German lineage down there. Remember Herbert Walker Bush? He claimed to be related to the Windsor family. Remember that?
I do not.
Yes, he did. So if you look, check out his movements. Remember George H. Walker Bush? He was the first one that talked about new one world order. He's the first president that talked about that openly. the other presidents like Woodrow Wilson, they set up the stages, you know, like they did the 17th Amendment crap. They did the 16th, they taxed your laborers. They did all this other crap to get you where you are now. See, right now, the big words they're using, they're not going to see language. To learn language and to speak it properly, it's like music. It's a rhythm. And that's what education is. To teach a child to speak, he's got to learn the rhythm of the language. Trust me on this.
Okay.
And this is what we're not teaching in our schools and literature. We're not teaching our kids the rhythm of the language. That's why they're coming out stupid and they can't do public speaking. See, you got a rhythm when you speak. I don't know if you realize that or not, but you have a rhythm and you put the words together in a rhythm. Without that, you'd be a dull guy, Russ.
Well, I can't sing, so I got to do something.
Yeah, but I'm just saying though. But it's all it has to do with rhythm, and it's in indoctrination.
Yeah.
The communists, they know all about the psychological attack on any languages in the country. That's why they hit you with communism, they hit you with fascism, they hit you with racism, they hit you with all this stuff. And because they try to short circuit your rhythm and speaking, and they do that, they control your thought process. They really do.
Yeah, we need to fight it all, buddy.
Okay. Yeah, well, I think it's too late. I really do. I think we're going to have a mock election come over the first. They're going to tease you early on. We're ahead, they're ahead, we're ahead. But the communists are not going to allow you to control Congress, nor are they going to allow you to control the House again. It's not going to happen.
I hope you're wrong, but I fear you might not be. Thank you, sir. Bye. Take care.
Bye.
Oh, gee, with some history.
Yeah, some explanations.
Getting back to Julia Carey Wrong, who is calling transphobia is fascist and whatever. Pamela Paul, who wrote an article with the New York Times, the far right and the far left agree on one thing. I'm interested in that, right? Yeah. Well, what could they agree on?
All right.
Women don't count. So it's all of a sudden, oh no. I probably wouldn't. I don't know that I normally would have read that article. I probably would have skipped to something a little more interesting because I don't believe it. But now I'm going to because.
But she's also saying the far left
doesn't agree with it either, and I'll tell you why. Which she's right.
Did you see Bette Midler's tweet over the weekend?
No.
Okay. Well, cool. We'll get to that after this then.
All right. Argue that the far left alienating women by erasing womanhood to be accepting of transgender people. Those on the right who are threatened by women's equality have always fought fiercely to put women back in place. What has been disheartening is that some on the fringe left have been equally dismissive, resorting to bullying, threats of violence, public shaming, and other scare tactics when women try to reassert that right. Tolerance for one group need not mean intolerance for another. We can respect transgender women without castigating females who point out that biological women still constitute a category of their own with their own specific needs and pejoratives. Well said.
Yeah, okay.
I kind of agree with all that.
Yeah, let's go.
You don't have to choose one over the other. You can do both, but please recognize both. But the transgender group says, nope, cis doesn't exist, only all women. I'm your equal. I'm a woman too. If you don't believe me, I'll beat you up. Because I have the male hormones and I can do it. Well, that's what Wong was trashing. She says, one thing about the policy of legacy publications to ban their employees from being honest about their political opinions in public is that a person can rise to an incredibly powerful position in industry without being the wiser about their bases and bigotries. Truly wild how she is now, though, like every damn week in an anti-woke on blast. It's anti-woke on blast. I guess, she's just really trashing this Pamela Paul for how dare you not agree with me on the transgender in infiltrating the cis women and that they're completely equals.
Yeah, so that ties into what Bette Midler did this weekend.
Did she agree with what?
So typically she's super far left, right?
Right. So did she agree with Carrie Wong that you're a fascist if you don't think that transgender women are the same as any woman?
No, she's sticking up for women.
Oh, she is?
Yeah,
That surprises me.
This is her tweet. Women of the world, we're being stripped of our rights over our own bodies, our lives, and even our name.
Yeah.
They don't call us women anymore. They call us birthing people or menstruators, and even people with vaginas. Don't let them erase you. Every human on earth owes you. So you could tell in the beginning she's going the Roe versus Wade thing, but then she gets down to like, okay, now I'm going to piss off the left, and you read the tweets underneath it. Yeah,
I bet a bunch of hate came after her.
Oh yeah, like the one
from the left.
From the left,
and that's the real angry mob is the left. That's the cancel culture mob.
Mm-hmm. And they're coming after. Yeah, they're coming after. And talking really disappointed as a trans man and a Bette Midler fan.
For some reason, they want to say that transgender women are exactly the same. How dare you point out any differences?
You know, and here's the thing. Libs at TikTok replied back to her. That great Libs at TikTok on Twitter. They replied back, who's they that are changing these definitions and these names? Who's they? Like, Bet, like, come on, open up your eyes, find out who they is.
Oh, good for them.
Right?
Who are they?
It's the left.
It is the left.
It's the left.
And then they force us all to accept their definitions, which are non-traditional and not part of who we were. And now women can't be called women anymore. They're cis women. If you want to identify as a real woman,
that's what she's saying. You can't be called women anymore. That's exactly her point.
You're cis women. Because there's a difference, because everybody's a woman now that wants to be. Just wake up one morning, I'm a woman. But if you want to say biologically, I'm a woman, then you have to put a cis in front of it. It's kind of unfair.
Yeah, exactly. So women should be upset.
But there's not that much worried about the men, though.
What do you mean?
You don't have to be called a cis man. I mean, nobody.
Well, men ain't gonna put up with that crap.
No, they'll just hit you.
Yeah, I'm not going to put up with that. Somebody calls me a cis man, you lost your mind.
Yeah, but you have to for a cis woman for some reason.
Yeah, well, so that's the thing. There is an attack that seems to be an attack on women, right? There is the legitimate attack on women, and you have no idea of the law if you think Roe versus Wade it took away your rights. That's just insane. That's
we always hear about the men that become women. I mean, that's always in the news.
Mm-hmm.
You never hear about the women that become men too much.
Not too much, no.
But you realize they outnumber. They're 2 to 1. For every man that becomes a woman, there's 2 women that become men. And you don't even hear it. They're invisible.
Oh, I didn't know that. No.
They're invisible. You don't even hear about them. So guys win at everything.
Well, one is very visible right now. I don't know if you saw what happened also this weekend.
The swimmer?
No. Ellen Page.
Oh.
Which, you know Ellen Page is?
No.
Ellen Page, she was in Juno. She's in Umbrella Academy. She's a real famous actress.
Oh yeah, Victor.
Yeah.
Victoria.
So she changed. She just got her breast removed, and now she goes by Elliot Page.
Yeah, and in the show, which she was Victoria in the show, they changed her to Victor. She says, "I just wanted to show him Victor now," and everyone said, "Okay, Victor," and they called her Victor the rest of the time. It was never any controversy. It was never any questioning. Nothing. Just kind of like thrown in there for some reation.
Well, because
in real life,
that's what she did in real life, and Dr. Jordan Peterson had mentioned it and said, like, what's going on, and he got suspended from Twitter.
What?
Yeah, because he called her Ellen Page instead of Elliot.
And got suspended?
Yeah, he suspended, and they said, you need to delete it.
So if I called you Frank instead of Johnny, it would be suspension. It wouldn't be, made a mistake.
It's when they have the word dead naming, right? Like you can't dead name somebody that's a dead name. So they say that's a threat against transgender people.
To dead name them, to call them
what they used to go by.
Yeah, if they change their names. So if I called Bruce Jenner instead of
on
Caitlyn.
Twitter, yeah, you could get in trouble. So they just got rid of Jordan Peterson this weekend.
But even Caitlyn talks about Bruce Jenner.
Yeah, so
as if they're two different people.
Yeah, there's no real rules to
there's
this.
no real rules. Yeah.
But Jordan Peterson did get suspended on Twitter, and they said, you got to delete it. He said, I'd rather die than delete that tweet. So he's just done with Twitter, it looks like. Hopefully, when Elon, they're hoping that Elon will do something. But just this morning, a guy retweeted what Jordan Peterson tweeted.
Yeah.
Dave Rubin from the Daily Wire.
Oh, yeah?
And he just got suspended.
Dave Rubin. No, I know that name.
Yeah, Dave Rubin. Yeah. He just got suspended for retweeting what Jordan Peterson
I think we
tweeted.
should get 1 million people to retweet it.
I guess, but they're coming after it, right? And so like it's just weird. It's very strange.
Yeah, there seems to be an aggressiveness to protect this this newfound definitions at all costs.
Mm-hmm.
But they're gonna fade. I mean, because people, how quickly they change. I mean, nobody fought to save the term woman.
No.
For women.
That's what should happen.
Yeah.
And that's what should be. Women should rise up and say enough of this stuff.
But the transgenders came along and says, I'm using the name women. You can't anymore. I mean, you can, but then you're just part of me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they go, well, I'm a cis woman then.
It's so strange.
It's weird.
Like, don't bow down to this nonsense. It's crazy. It's absolutely ludicrous.
And what happens if you go up to a biological woman and you refuse to call her cis woman? Do you still get in trouble? I mean, if you call her woman, isn't that dead naming?
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, who makes the rules?
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. Who makes these rules? These people?
And they seem to happen so rapidly. You need to check them regularly on pronouns. And the pronoun thing has been really weird. And then some of the colleges that are enforcing these pronoun rules, they allow you to change it as rapidly as you want. So you could have a pronoun today, and then tomorrow might change it, and the next day change it, and everybody's supposed to keep up with it.
Everybody's supposed to keep up. That's you're supposed to be forced to keep up. I'm not keeping up. I don't care.
No, I like the professors that just got away from all pronouns. Nobody's Mr. or Mrs. anything. It's just Johnny, Russ.
Yeah.
And that guy got fired, and then he got his job back. Because who can keep up with it all? Because now there's so many pronouns. You need to have it tattooed on someone's forehead. You can't tattoo it because that's permanent and the pronouns aren't.
Yeah, the pronouns aren't. Yeah. You don't want to get a tattoo because you might feel like a G or a Jem or whatever the next day.
Well, or what's the next new craze? We're going to come up with a new word that hadn't heard of before, and everybody wants to jump on that one.
And obviously, look at that. You can tell this is a swing into emotion instead of logic, right? We have swung into emotion and not logic. So logic needs to come back, and that's what happened with Greece, right? Greece got too far one way, and then Rome came over and took over.
Oh, I don't know. History of it, I don't know exactly what it all was, but these
they got
empires that died out.
Yeah, the empires have died out. Greece got all in their feelings and just philosophized of everything instead of having real logic. And then Rome came in with some real, like, this is the law of jungle. We're going to take you over. But anyway, it's like we're in a feeling stage. Feelings matter. It matters what you feel. That's why you could change your pronoun from one day to another, because you feel like I feel like
I'm still sticking with Power Grayskull.
Well, yeah,
I kind of like
feel
it.
powerful.
I do feel powerful.
You feel
and it's only happened a few times, but in public, somebody will walk up and say, Power Grayskull Russ. And I'm like, and it kind of like, it threw me off. I'm like, oh yeah.
That is me.
I am the power. Thank you.
Yes. that is I.
Which I find just hilarious myself, but, and then we all need to jump on that. We need to, have fun with it instead of getting all twisted up about it. Cause it's a fad. It'll go someday to something else. Cause obviously the fad of man and woman went. Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
Yeah. Good morning, Russ.
Good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning to you guests. Yeah. I feel like a bull hauler today. How about that?
You can be bull hauler. I think that's a good pronoun for you, but it may change someday.
Well, it has already. It could be a cow hauler, a livestock hauler, but I prefer bull hauler.
Yeah, or it could be rocking chair setter. Who knows?
Yeah. Don't anybody insult me because I'm a bull hauler, Hey, I just wanted to make a quick point on. It's a little away from the topic that's at hand right now, but. That shooting that took place in Illinois yesterday on the 4th of July?
Yes.
I just want to say that the governor of Illinois, his crocodile tears don't impress me one bit, because all he is a gun grabber, and he never says nothing, not one word about all the violence, all the black men that are being killed every weekend in Chicago. He never says one thing about it. Nothing. He's silent. So for him to get on the air and say, "Oh, this is a terrible thing." Well, it is a terrible thing. I'm not saying that it's not a terrible thing, but his crying and this is going to stop and all this gun grab, mushy mush stuff. He can take it somewhere else because I'm not buying it. So that's what I wanted to say. He never says one word about all the black men every weekend that are being gunned down in the city of Chicago.
True.
So,
They're and obviously they make that insignificant. And it really bothered me in New York the other day when there was a person killed on the east side and everyone was all up in arms and articles about it because somebody was in the rich neighborhood got gunned down.
Yeah.
And yet, you know what? That happens every day or every week for sure. And it doesn't happen in the east side and it's not news. And that's just so ridiculous to me.
It is ridiculous. You're exactly right. But, everyone is seeing this. It's in the news all the time, and everybody knows about the violence in Chicago.
Yeah.
And that phony baloney, whatever he is, gun grabber. That's what I think he is. He just wants to grab the guns. He's down with it. He's totally down with everything that Biden is doing, and all these commies want to do.
And he wants a solution that absolutely can't work, but one that he can't get, so he'll never be wrong.
Exactly. Okay,
appreciate it, buddy. Take care.
That's my 2 cents.
All right, bye-bye. The bull hauler, good guy.
Yeah.
I got a text here. It says, as far as I can tell, all this transgender stuff is mental illness run amok. It's mental illness being encouraged. They should not be called something else, not men, not women. And it wasn't that long ago that it would be considered a mental issue that needed to be rectified and taken care of. I'm not an expert on any of that. I don't know how much of it is and isn't and all that stuff. And, transgender has been, since recorded history, been a part of life. Back in the Roman Empire, there was a lot of writing about it and all that kind of stuff. But in fact, I know that because my wife did a research paper on the Roman Empire.
Yeah. So, okay, let me tell you what the real transgender, right? Let's get to this. Can I say that, or do you want to read that text first?
No, go ahead.
So what happens when a country takes over another country or one tribe takes over another tribe? A lot of times what they would do, they would turn the men to eunuchs. They would turn their men to eunuchs because
I know that happens, but
that was really it's really popular. It happened a lot.
Happened in Egypt.
Yeah, in Egypt it happened.
But okay, what's your point?
Well, that's what I'm saying. So that it makes them easier to control. More people that are easier to control. No testosterone. So they turn the men to eunuchs as slaves. So that's what it seems like is going on right now. They're turning these people into eunuchs. The
you
men,
mean transgender?
The transgender,
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like easy to control. People that are easy to control, easy to manipulate. Yeah. So look at it. Look at it. Some context. This has been going on forever, but it used to be one tribe or one nation takes over another nation. They chop the balls off of all the guys, if I could say that on the radio.
No.
And they they turn them into eunuchs. So this is what's going on again. Now we're getting people that saying that I want to become a eunuch. I have the right to become a eunuch.
Well, go right ahead. It's your choice. I'll be back. AM 560 KBLU.
This advertisement is paid for by Lacuna Ventures LLC. For terms and conditions, visit yourrights.legal. Attention. If you or someone you know spent time at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina prior to 1988 and developed serious health conditions such as non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, bladder, breast, or kidney cancer, you may be eligible for significant financial compensation. Call Camp Lejeune victims to discuss your case now at 800-635-7407. Leaking underground tanks contaminated the drinking water with benzene and other highly carcinogenic chemicals, up to 280 times acceptable levels. Marines, their families, contractors, or employees who spent at least 30 days at Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune before 1988 and developed a serious health condition, call to determine your eligibility for financial compensation. If you don't win, you pay nothing. It is critical to take action and call now. 800-635-7407. That's 800-635-7407 or visit CampLejeuneVictims.com.
Hi, this is Tony Gwynn Jr., excited to be on 560 KBLU for San Diego Padres baseball. Get the games here and get the complete game schedule at KBLUAM.com.
Padres baseball on KBLU is brought to you in part by Paradise Casino Sportsbook. There's nowhere better to place your bets than Paradise Casino Sportsbook. So much, so close.
Would you look at the time? It's tax time. You already know H&R Block does taxes, but here's what you may not know when you file with H&R Block, like how you can get expert help in person or virtually. Plus, our tax pros average 10 years of experience. You can even request to work with the same tax pro every year, and your biggest possible refund is always guaranteed. No one offers more ways to help with your taxes than H&R Block. At H&R Block, help is here.
When it's hot, the last thing you want is your home's AC to quit on you. At 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating, our team of comfort specialists take the frustration out of the equation. From simple repairs to more complex fixes, we'll get you cool and comfortable quickly. Just call 928-783-4242 or visit onehouryuma.com.
Always on time, or you don't pay it time. Always on time, or you don't pay it time.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
Everyone's trying to get it right, get it right. Everybody's working for the weekend.
AM 560 KBLU. Russ Clark with you. It's 7:34 on a Tuesday morning. So you're working for the weekend. I mean, it's we already had Monday off.
Yeah,
What do we?
Monday
I played
off.
the wrong song.
Yeah.
Not even tired of this week yet. We haven't even done anything yet.
No.
Just getting started. Hey, the Crosby Nash.
Oh yeah, I love that
you
story.
read all that stuff. Now,
That's great.
Did you remember when Joe Rogan was talking COVID and he had COVID experts on?
Yeah.
And they disagreed with some of the narratives from the left and some of the physicians and doctors. In fact, even the guy that helped invent the RNA type,
The mRNA, yeah.
mRNA type program that developed the virus, the vaccine, was on talking about its limitations, talking about what it can and can't do and all that kind of stuff. And people went nuts and saying, how dare you not agree with everything, the science says. Well, this is the scientists that developed it. But it doesn't matter. It's the narrative. It's the political narrative they're not agreeing with. And some of these, rock bands went nuts and say, well, Spotify, which does the Joe Rogan show, is on Spotify. And it's the most popular show probably that's of that type in the world.
Yeah, in the world.
Yeah.
It's the most
For a
popular in the
blog.
world.
Yeah. It's just the biggest there is. And these guys all said, if you don't get rid of him, fire him, I won't let you play my music. And Spotify said, okay, take it off. And they did. Quite a few of them did. And Crosby, Nash, Young, all those guys did it. Well, they're all back on.
Yeah,
not all of them, but these guys are back on
They're
anyway.
back on, yeah.
They realized that that the world's bigger than just them.
Mm-hmm.
It had to be a rude awakening.
I love that. I love that story.
They
I was so
returned,
happy.
and the group, but now the group plans to donate all proceeds from the music to COVID-19 charities for at least a month.
Okay, whatever. Whatever makes you feel better, bud.
For at least a month. In other words, they're missing the money.
Yes,
Spotify
they're
was
missing the
paying
money. Well, I don't know. See, here's the thing. I thought I think this was totally staged by the record labels, but the record labels are missing the money. The people that they owe are missing the money. They say, all right,
Well,
enough of this.
And that's true. Crosby explained, I'm sorry, David Crosby, that I don't own it now. And the people who do are in business to make money.
There it is. See,
Well,
I told you.
And look, when Crosby said take it off, and they did, wasn't really Crosby's music. He wrote it, he produced it, he sold it.
Yeah, he sold it. It's not his anymore.
It's
So
not his.
I knew it. I knew it.
Yeah, so his music's playing like crazy. He can't control it because he doesn't own it.
Doesn't own it. Yep.
Sounded good to sell it. I remember when Michael Jackson bought all the Beatles stuff.
Yeah. He owns a lot. Michael Jackson owned a lot, man.
Yeah, I don't know what he does anymore, but McCartney, he made friends with
he's
McCartney.
not alive anymore, but
Yeah, when Paul McCartney got called, Jackson called him and said, let's make, he said, well, okay. And they got together and they made a few songs together and stuff like that. And Jackson liked him so much, he bought his music, which Paul didn't really like, but it wasn't his. He sold it.
yeah, he has no control over it.
Yeah, he had no control.
But I love this. I love that they look at the record labels. Like it's about money, capitalism. Like this is the law. This is the way it works. Okay, enough. Now you got to go have your head held down and your tail tucked between your legs and go up there and say, okay, we're back on.
Now, Spotify has Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan right now has regular listenership of more than 10 million people. Let me tell you how big that is. A lot of your Fox News people are number one, and they get 2 to 3 million, and they're number one on Fox News. Rogan's getting 10 million.
Yes,
what does that tell you?
Yeah, it tells you a lot. And it was sad because Rogan did buckle a little bit during that time, and he's like, "Look,
what do you mean buckle?"
Well, he's like, "Okay, fine. Like, I'll do my best to get both sides of the story." But it wasn't his fault that the other side of the story didn't want to come on. He tried to book the guests.
We've done the same in here.
I know,
and I think I've walked on eggshells because of all the craziness, and particularly since I do broadcast, I became more careful about COVID. So I buckled.
But no. But what I'm saying is that he did it in a certain way where he went out and gave a public apology.
Oh,
and then he did it that way. So that's what made kind of like, oh, that's kind of a bummer.
He probably had to,
But when he did try to have the other narrative on, they got destroyed. They didn't have any good answers. Like they wouldn't. He had them on. I saw them, and they didn't have the intelligence of these other doctors.
Talk radio does not work for the left.
They do
because it comes out in little short emotional bursts.
Yeah,
and there's nothing really to back it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. So he did try. He tried, and I don't know if he's trying anymore. But
I stopped trying. I used to beg Democrats to come on here all the time, and at one time I got the Democrat party chair to come on, I think for like 3 or 4 weeks, and they said, this isn't for me, and left. And I was doing my best to make them comfortable and not.
Yeah.
And I was biting my tongue and not bringing up a lot of stuff that I really wanted to say. But yeah, what about this? I tried to make, but they don't like talk radio. The liberals don't work in this venue very well.
No, you could tell that in the just in the nature of what we do here versus what they do on NPR, right? It's like,
or even the View or something where they don't talk in logic really. Or
the View is just pure, emotional and has.
Yeah,
there's no logic, right? It's just
but
NPR
is totally different.
But NPR, you have to. It's like, and then we have this report, and there's no counter. There's no. It's just, and this is the.
Yeah, it's definitely not point counterpoint.
No, it's not. It's just here it is. We're going to serve you the facts,
and they're not going to bring on a point counterpoint. They're not going to bring on somebody who disagrees. Well, I disagree with that, Johnny. They're not going to have that.
No, they're just going to tell you why your voice assistant is sexist or something, and here's the report on why Siri is sexist, and and then they're just going to tell it to you like that, and then that you got to Siri's sexist. That's crazy.
Yeah, I know. I don't like that. I mean, I'm not a fan.
Well, because you're a fan of ideas, and the way ideas have to be, they're raw. They're raw. They have to be chiseled down into the finer point, right? And the way they do that is through discussion and dialogue and bouncing your idea.
And the left doesn't have dialogue. They even have in colleges, the safe zones,
safe spaces where you could just sit with your bad idea.
Yeah, and you're allowed to discuss liberal ideas, but you can't discuss a conservative one.
No, you just sit with your bad
idea. You
idea.
can't wear a Trump hat into one of the safe zones or safe areas, safe spaces, but you could probably wear a Biden-Harris one.
Yeah.
Make it big, and it's all just like, we can't take anything that's going to take away my lovely piece of believing what I believe. Even if it's wrong, I don't want to know.
Yeah, and that's definitely the thought behind it. But yeah, so that's the big difference between the two. One's pure emotion, like you said, this little emotional sound bites and then we do longer form discussing ideas, and that's what Joe Rogan does. Rogan does it, and he tried with them.
He gets paid $100 million. That's a lot less than me. By like about 100 million.
I love that they had to go back, though. I really love this story. I love that they had to go back.
I expected it, though.
The record labels are like, enough.
If the record label didn't buckle, but so many businesses and so much industries right now just buckle to these, Black Lives Matter, Antifas, whatever. Like, whatever you guys want here, take this money, go away. And I guess Spotify, stood up to the guys and says, I don't care, we're not doing it.
They did stick up. They've made a couple
have great respect for that.
they've made a couple of statements that they're going to continue to stand up, and that's going to be what
we
it is.
want all ideas. We're not going to stop ideas. And I don't know how colleges get away with it. Colleges do it like regularly now. I mean, not all colleges, but many colleges will limit conservative voices, limit or reduce or not allow conservative voices at all. Yeah, too controversial.
Yeah, they will do that. If you follow people like Turning Point USA and PragerU, they do a lot of information on what the colleges are doing, the universities. You find out how they limit.
No conservatives here because we don't take hate speech. And because it's too much for security because all the liberals will get mad and burn the cars and dumpsters.
Yeah, there was recently at a college, there was a guy, he is on the left, but he's just very logical. And they were afraid of him and they were calling him a right-wing fascist. And he's like, oh my God, I've never voted for a Republican in my life.
Yeah, but how dare you be logic?
Yeah.
Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
Yes, Russ. It appears to me that this attack on free speech and on banning people who disagree with you, that the genesis is in the left's promotion of the idea that words can hurt, therefore they are violence, therefore we can control what you say.
Yeah, yes, and that's been verbalized by many people on the left. Like, I have to defend myself because of your hate speech or something, yeah.
Right, and there was a consensus in this country for over 200 years that sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. And the idea that you have to be tough enough to take verbal assaults without a problem. That we draw a very strong, bright white line in the universe between mere words and everything else. And the left has assaulted and broken through that to make the claim that because words can hurt, and they can, but they can't physically hurt you, they may mentally hurt you, that society, or the left particularly, not just society, the left particularly, therefore has to have the power to prevent anybody from being hurt by any word, and therefore they must control our entire thought process in whatever we say, write, read, or publish.
Yeah, I agree. Well said. And we need to talk more about that. I guess I don't anymore, but the left is blinders, buddy.
It's gone crazy, and it's hard to believe that but as you said, this has gone on in the universities, and that's how they did it. They said, well, words hurt, so we have to control the words people speak because they hurt people.
Yeah, and you can't hurt a conservative, so we'll say whatever we want.
Right. Well, exactly. I mean, and of course, if they get to define what words hurt and what words don't, they have total control over the discourse, and that means over society and everything, and they become tyrannical dictators.
There you go. Appreciate the call, man. Take care.
Yep.
Bye. We'll be right back. AM 560.
Going to be plenty hot here across southwest Arizona as we go through the next several days. We'll see a good deal of sunshine the rest of the day, a high approaching 108, average highs right at 107. Clear tonight, a low near 80, and sunshine, a high of 108 Saturday. Mainly sunny weather ahead Sunday, lows in the mid to upper 70s. Highs anywhere from 104 to 108. Monday, lots of sunshine, 101 to 105. And Tuesday, looking at a good deal of sun as well. Highs anywhere from 102 to 106. I'm meteorologist Mark Thibodeau at the Weather Channel.
Hi, Jill. How's your father doing in hospice?
Oh, not good, Susan. Not good at all. His nurse hasn't seen him in over a week, and she said she'll visit him when she gets a chance.
Have you called Hospice of Yuma, the community nonprofit hospice provider? They have the lowest patient-to-nurse ratio in our area.
Does their nonprofit status really make a difference?
Yes, Jill, it really does. Their priority is on caring for the patient, not on increasing profitability. Let's call them and get your father what he deserves.
Hospice of Yuma, nonprofit hospice care. There is a difference.
It's always game time at Paradise Sportsbook. Get in on the action with live sports betting. You can make your wagers in person or from the comfort of your recliner. The choice is yours. There's nowhere better to place your bets. Give it a shot by visiting our sportsbook or download the mobile app at paradise-casinos.com. So much action, so close to home. Paradise Casino.
Must be 21 and older. Management reserves all rights. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP 24/7 for problem gambling.
Derek Egeberg, branch manager with Academy Mortgage, NMLS number 180899.
where we help individuals and families build a foundation for their future by providing opportunities to obtain home ownership through unique products and services. Academy Mortgage, inspiring hope, delivering dreams, and building prosperity, is an equal housing lender. NMLS number 3113, Arizona BK 0904081, LO number 0915245.
The Border Report brought to you by RV World, located on Gila Ridge Road. Exit Interstate 8 on Araby Road, then head west on Gila Ridge about a quarter mile. RV World, Yuma's premier recreational vehicle dealer since 1991, offering a large selection of new and used RVs. Waiting on the update from Algodones this morning, the updated border wait times for passenger vehicles in the standard lanes and Century lanes at the selected ports of entry. You need information on. Check them out at yumadailynews.com. That's at yumadailynews.com.
Sprague Sports is Yuma's hunting and shooting headquarters. Why? Because Sprague Sports is the difference. Where else can you buy, sell, trade, or consign firearms with free expert appraisals always? There is nothing like Sprague Sports. With 64 years of industry connections to have products in stock when others can't. And all Sprague's firearms come with a lifetime warranty. And talk about customer service. There's a gunsmith always on duty. Sprague's is your Remington Warranty Center, and when you need it, there's expert one-day sight-in service. But that's not all. Sprague Sports has got training courses, including Arizona CCW, First Shot, Hunter Education, and more. Sprague's handles Glock, Blue Label pistols, and is your NFA dealer at suppressors and full autos. That's why we call them the experts. And Sprague's is Yuma's Yeti headquarters, the best Yeti selection and free ice for life. Sprague's has a 10-lane, rifle-certified indoor shooting range and gun rentals you can try before you buy. Serving Yuma's shooting and outdoor needs since 1956. That's the Sprague's difference. Sprague's, 32nd Street, next to Lowe's.
The Border Report brought to you by RV World, located on Gila Ridge Road. Exit Interstate 8 on Araby Road, then head west on Gila Ridge about a quarter mile. RV World, Yuma's premier recreational vehicle dealer since 1991, offering a large selection of new and used RVs.
If you run a business in Greater Yuma, you need to know that more people listen to the radio every day than watch TV, read the newspaper, or interact with your social media accounts. If you want to make your business the brand of choice when it comes to the goods and services you sell, get your message on radio where it can have the most impact, and then run that message enough times so that it has no chance of being ignored. Get thinking about the long game. Go to yumaadvertising.com and take the first step toward being a brand of choice today.
Waiting on the update from Algodones this morning, the updated border wait times for passenger vehicles in the standard lanes and Century lanes at the selected ports of entry. You need information on. Check them out at yumadailynews.com. That's at yumadailynews.com.
You may be right, I may be crazy, oh, but it just may be a lunatic you're looking for. Turn out.
AM 560 KBLU. Russ Clark with you. It's Tuesday morning, 7:51. Johnny Porter's with me.
Yep.
100-year-old World War II vet. Gotta love that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just, and I'll talk about him in a minute, but Woody Williams just died on, it was Sunday. And it's Herschel W. Woody Williams, the last remaining Medal of Honor recipient from World War II, 98 years old. He's going to lie in honor at the U.S. Capitol. But, so, I grew up, of course, I was born in 57, so World War II was over. But I remember growing up with, Grandpa and everybody still talking about the war and, asking him questions and discussing all that. But the last of them are, there's not many World War II vets left. I mean, but this 100-year-old guy, Carl Sperlin Deckel, and I think he's a Silver Star, awarded Silver Star. So he said, people don't realize what they have. The things we did and the things we fought for and the boys that died for it, it's all gone down the drain. We haven't got the country we had when I was raised, not at all. Nobody will have the fun I had. Nobody will have the opportunity I had. It's just not the same. And that's not what our boys, that's not what they died for. You just remember everything's beautiful and live every day to the fullest. Just enjoy everything you possibly can. And here I sit at 100. They tell me I'm 100. I don't believe it sometimes because I don't need to worry about age. I'm not going to. I just keep on going. And he went to war in September of 1940. Johnny, that was a long time ago.
Mhm.
That's when he went to war.
Yeah.
Said they shipped me straight out of Guantanamo, which was a Navy base, and put me in a machine gun company. We were scared all the time. I don't care what anybody says. We were vulnerable all the time, since Pearl Harbor particularly. Said it was an honor for me to serve my country. And if I had to do it again, and I was the same age, I would do it, I guarantee you.
Wow.
After what he went through.
Wow.
I would do it again. Scared all the time. And I think that's fair. But during 4th of July, I guess they put this out. But I think the message is right that he thinks we're going the wrong direction in the country. Simply going the wrong direction. And why is that, Johnny? Why is it?
Well, why are we going in the wrong direction?
Yeah, why?
Well, you forget your freedoms. You forget
Yeah.
people. It's just if you're not constantly reminded, right? That's what holidays are for. Certain holidays, Memorial Day, Veterans Day, it's supposed to not just be a time to barbecue, but a time to bring up remembrance of what these things are. And as we get further and further away from them, we tend to lose, right? Until something cataclysmic happens again, until the big war, until then it's like, oh, like it's like a redirection. That's what this was about.
And I, me growing up in the 60s and the 70s, still a lot of World War II vets that would talk about it, Korea, and then right into Vietnam and stuff. And there was always, though Vietnam was different, there wasn't the patriotism in Vietnam. It was terrible, but there was always, an honor, a love for country, a respect for who we are, the greatness of what we've developed, and that we have to fight for it. And I guess it's been part of our history from the revolution and on. It's never stopped. And the founding fathers told us that we're gonna have to fight for it. But I don't think anybody's fought for anything in a while, and they don't feel touched by it.
That's what happens. Like when you don't fight for it, you end up not having the same respect for it.
Say a phone call. You're on the air.
Hey, what's up, y'all? What's going on? What's the real deal?
Hey, Reggie, how are you, buddy?
What's up, Reggie?
Man, just another day in the projects. I'm halfway sleepy, but I'm going to say this real fast.
Yeah.
The biggest problem is that these kids don't know nothing. They're not teaching nothing in these schools anymore.
Yeah, it's true too. I mean,
and you know what's so
I never went to war, Reggie, but I know it because the stories were always there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they were, but at one point in time, like you said, there was a patriotism here.
Yep.
There was a sense of honor in this nation.
Oh.
But the biggest problem, we let our enemies teach our kids. I think it was John Dewey that stated, wait, give me 1 second, I'm trying to remember. He stated something that our goal in the public school system was to take the kids away from the parents, the fathers if we can, or worse to that effect. I can't remember it now. But we have let our enemy, the communists, the socialists from the 60s and 70s teach our kids today. Think about it.
Yeah.
What's the guy from the Weather Underground? He's a professor in college. Matter of fact, I was at the what's that one museum in Palm Springs, the Aviation Museum?
Oh, yeah. I love that one. That's great.
Yeah, and I was talking to one of the P-38 jocks there, and he said something that shocked me. And this was almost 14, 15 years ago. He said, and I'm a quote, it was this one young lady, she was a teacher, that's what he said. He said, we wouldn't have ever fought World War II if we didn't bomb Japan. What the heck did that come from?
I don't know. What do you mean bomb Japan? Who bombed Japan? You mean we bombed Japan at the you mean at the end of the war? Or
No, she said we bombed Japan first. We provoked the war with Japan. Yep.
Wow, are we not teaching history?
No, and you know what's even funny? When we talked to somebody was asking me about a few months ago, what was the deal with World War II? And I looked at them. Then, I broke down the Axis, the Allies, I try to break it down as simple as I can. And he said, I never learned this in school.
Oh.
And it's amazing. Matter of fact, I'm trying to remember something else in history. They twist things around and tear it around. Oh man, I can't remember right now. But the whole deal is, we're not teaching these kids nothing. The school's not teaching them nothing for sure. They're not teaching them, they're not teaching history.
That's unfortunate. And possibly we don't have teachers that even understand or are patriots themselves, probably.
No, they don't. And what's so sad, I remember one time I was talking to a couple of guys about 15, 20 years ago when the war first kicked off.
Mm-hmm.
And he's saying, why are we fighting this war against Islam? And I told him, we've been fighting these guys since the late 17, early 1800s with the War of Tripoli. And I told him, not only that, if you look in back in the 60s and 70s, with all the hijacking of airplanes, this is nothing new.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and a lot of the communist organizations in Europe was also working with Islamic jihadists from the Middle East, PLO, a couple of other groups I can't remember at the moment. But when I got through talking to these guys, they're like, well, we didn't know this. I said, yeah, a lot of stuff is not being shown, a lot of stuff not being taught, a lot of stuff people just don't read no more. They're more into the Dancing with the Stars or Kardashian.
And I've got to run out of time. But if we fail to teach our history, we'll be forced to relive it. Unfortunately.
Yes,
Appreciate it, buddy.
You guys take care.
Take care.
Hey, take care, Reggie.
Bye-bye. We'll be right back. AM 560 KBLU.
Because the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that.
From the 1 hour air conditioning and heating studio, this is News Talk 560 KBLU, Yuma.
Will he be charged today? I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That is a big question about the person of interest in Highland Park, Illinois, 24 hours after a shooting ruined the 4th of July parade. We saw people falling, people screaming.
Everybody was running inside, and then we started noticing how many people were bloody.
6 people were killed, at least 30 others injured. Robert Primo III was taken into custody last night.
Primo's uncle told Fox 32 in Chicago that his nephew was an aspiring rapper, and one of his videos reportedly included violent images, including a drawing of a man aiming a rifle at another person.
Fox's Madeline Rivera in Highland Park. There was also a shooting in Philadelphia during the fireworks last night that sent people running for cover. 2 police officers were wounded.
One received a grazed wound to the head. Remarkably, the bullet was found in the highway patrol officer's hat. The other officer was a member of the Montgomery County Bomb Squad, both treated and released from a local hospital.
Fox's Molly Line, the gunman, has not been arrested. More people are traveling home the day after the 4th of July. Airports are busy again today.
They've been getting through pretty easily this morning, but certainly it's been a chaotic weekend for millions of Americans all over the country trying to travel.
Fox's Charles Watson is at Atlanta's airport.
A lot of folks traveling over the weekend found themselves stuck at airports across the country. The airlines struggling to keep up with the near pre-pandemic demand, thanks in part to bad weather and staffing shortages.
About 1,300 flights are either canceled or delayed today to or from or within the U.S. FlightAware says for the whole holiday weekend was more than 25,000. For those driving, gas is a tiny bit cheaper. It's fallen every day since the record high 3 weeks ago, down about 21 cents. AAA's national average now $4.80 per gallon. Now still $1.67 more than a year ago. On Wall Street, there is a big sell-off to start the week, adding to all the losses this year. The Dow plunging 726 points. America's listening to Fox News.
If you're living with aches and pains, especially if they're frequent and nagging and relentless, I want you to take a moment and think back to the last time you really felt good. Can you even remember what it felt like? Now, here's even a more important question. What would you give to go back to feeling like that again? Maybe it would just be nice to take a stroll with your loved one or play with your grandchildren. I've suffered from persistent crippling pain, almost all the time for about 5 years. When I started taking Relief Factor, I took it because my wife made me start taking it. I didn't think it would work for me. Yet here I am today, virtually pain-free, doing the things I love to do, all thanks to my wonderful wife and Relief Factor. I love that it's not a drug, but it was developed by doctors, and about 70% of the people who try it go on to order more. Are you part of that 70% that can get your life back? Your first step to becoming pain-free just might be to order the 3-week quick start for only $19.95. Go to relieffactor.com. or call 800-4RELIEF. Find out more about this offer. Feel the difference. ReliefFactor.com.
Morning News is brought to you by Spray Sports on 32nd Street, Yuma's hunting and shooting headquarters and responsible gun ownership since 1956.
Our border is under attack. Criminals, drug cartels, and human trafficking. Biden's border crisis has become Arizona's crisis. The police are Arizona's only line of defense. They've got our backs every time. And when it comes to electing Arizona's next top cop, they're taking a stand. Law enforcement groups across the state have endorsed Rodney Glassman for Attorney General because Rodney has their backs, saying Glassman will keep our citizens safe, uphold the rights of police officers, and that Rodney's committed to the rule of law. Glassman is an Air Force JAG prosecutor and a Trump conservative who will secure our border and get illegal drugs off our streets. He's the only candidate endorsed by law enforcement across Arizona because he'll stand with them every time. Rodney Glassman has earned their support, and he deserves our vote in the Republican primary.
Paid for by Glassman for Attorney General, authorized by Rodney Glassman.
You talk too much. You talk too much. I can't believe the things that you say.
AM 560 KBLU. Russ Clark with you and Johnny Porter. How are you?
Feel good.
Edward sent me a picture of the beach. It's the closest I'm going to get to it today.
Yeah.
Is the picture. Somewhere in Florida, I think. And you know, he's working though. You know, that's a nice thing about, you know, technology.
Get to work from the beach.
You get to work. Well, most people, I mean, a lot of people can, you know, they're
as long as you got some Wi-Fi signal or
you get the
cell
signal,
service,
you can get that all in, you can work from wherever you want to. That's great, right?
Yeah.
I like it. I don't think a lot of people have the discipline to do it. In fact, they found that out during COVID. A lot of people had to work from home.
Oh, yeah.
There were companies that went in and like fired mass amount of people because
they weren't working.
They weren't working. You know, they were at home and working and they were producing a little bit, but everybody had to get back. Elon Musk did that too. You know, like you have to get back to the office. It's not productive.
Yeah.
You know, if you're not here, you're not, working. I agree with that. I think there's some jobs that can be done remotely, like Edwards, but most of them not. Like even if you're in HR and a lot of it's paperwork, you got to be there.
I have a friend that actually is HR and she works remotely.
Yeah. Oh, it could be done, but
Yeah.
I think in order really to get engaged and all that, needs to be HR in the building.
She sits in front of their computer for like 8 hours a day. She has to be in front of the computer 8 hours a day.
I'd hate it.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like the best, but she does get to work from home. And so, you know, she works from home and she's in front of the computer dealing with HR stuff.
I'd rather wear pants.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man. Let's see, there's a writer, Progressive News and Opinion Salon, that recently put an opinion out there that you probably won't agree with.
Okay. This is Salon Magazine.
Published an article titled, trying to think of the writer was Matthew Rosa.
Okay.
Says, how Joe Biden is like America's founding fathers. And no, I'm not kidding.
Wow. Yeah.
What do you think? I mean, right off the bat, I'm like, is that one you want to read, or is it one you want to like? I mean, I would read that. I would read that. No, I'd read it to see, like, where's this train wreck going, right? He understood the comparison was so far-fetched that he had to add, obviously, I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
If Joe Biden's presidency continues on its current track, he may be remembered as a policy visionary ahead of his time and ignored by peers.
You're hurting me, dude.
And I really want to understand,
You're
like
hurting
which policies, dude. Now, this guy has a master's degree in Rutgers, a PhD program in history of Lehigh University. He admits some of the failures, but he said to this point, the political fates have cursed Joe Biden with the same bad luck that affected Washington, Jefferson, Hamilton, and other founding fathers at their most ambitious but least effective. But without granting him anything close to their storied accomplishments of historical legacy. Is that just an ironic coincidence, a minor plot twist in the American story, or a telling symbol of the ultimate failure of the American experiment and the corruption of both our political parties? History will have the answer to that question. On July 4th, let's give Joe Biden his due. Like the founding fathers, he has good ideas, and he can't implement because of petty politics. History will be kind to him. Trump will be remembered as a literal historic loser.
Jeez. Yeah.
So whenever you think there's not supporters out there, there are.
Well, that's a magazine. Salon's a magazine that was...
It's a real person that typed it.
Yeah, but it's a magazine that was developed to be a liberal magazine, a voice piece for the liberals out of San Francisco. So,
but who can read that crap and not think, what are you smoking? What are you doing?
Well, the people that want to feel better about voting for Biden and getting us in this disaster want to read that, you know?
One of the commentators at JJ Bezavento wrote, well, Biden is damn near as old as the founding fathers. Outside of that, the writer needs to be drug tested.
yeah, that's a good one. That's good. That's a good commentary.
Yeah, that's good. You know, you put that out on Twitter. That's nice. And an editor for RJ Kazam. Imagine carrying water for a senile old crook who will rank worse than Carter, but also even worse than tyranny before the nation was even established. The good news is the founders would have been amused rather than incensed by this filibert giblet. Filibert.
I don't even know.
I'm gonna have to spell. I'm gonna check that one out. I can't pronounce. That's a new word to me. I'll have to figure it out and I'll get back to you on it. I mean, my cell phone does it.
Yeah.
Did you?
No, I know.
Did you ever put an app in like that?
Which one that pronounces words?
That announces words, pronunciation words. You do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, usually I do it before I go on air.
But you can't figure out what this flagiblet.
Shut up.
Flagiblets.
Don't even try to mess up my screw up. I'm typing it right now.
Okay, you type. I'm going to talk. Yeah. So Salon Magazine, that's what they're for. They're just a mouthpiece for liberal, progressive ideas. And so they have to write stuff like that. So you get creative. A writer gets creative. Writer can write fiction, which obviously this is fiction, and put it out there. Flibberty. Now you got some music going.
Well, it's not a free app. It's a free app to add. It had something.
Oh yeah, it's a free app, but then you got to listen to their.
Yeah, I don't even know what that means. I don't care. I take it it's not a positive.
Yeah, so obviously this guy he gets paid to help push the agenda that they want to do.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I mean, what? I mean, I don't mind the rhetoric. Okay, the rhetoric is good. Now let's have a conversation about it. Give me a list of what you like. What accomplishments? What policies? And what do you think is good for us?
Well, one of the things they like, right? They want to get rid of oil, fossil fuels. That is a goal of theirs.
But that's fine. Then put that down. I would love that. Say $10 gas is his. He owns it.
Yeah, but once they start to own what they want, then they're going to get people like, "Are you crazy?"
Exactly.
Like, they can't name it, dude. They have to be subversive about it.
But that's what we need to do is expose all that crap. Especially when he gets up in front of the mic and says, "I am doing all I can to keep prices." No, you're not.
No, you're not. Absolutely not. There's no way. And then the people that believe it, they're.
I mean, there's little fibs or lies or little mistakes. That is huge.
Mm-hmm.
To lie so big and you just do it in front of everybody and And the left is going to say, you're like a founding father. You're so wonderful.
Well, they did the same thing with Fauci, right? He lied to him all the time, and they continued.
And Fauci says
they had dolls made of that guy.
But he actually admitted that, well, I had to lie because, and then he gives reasons.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's all good then.
Oh, as long as you had to lie.
You had to lie. You had to lie to me. It was for my own good.
Because you didn't trust that we were smart enough to figure it out.
My own good, yeah. So that's what this magazine is. That's where they're going to continue to put these stupid ideas out, and then the people that want to feel better about voting for this disaster will do that. And
there's still some hanging on. His popularity is obviously in the toilet, but according to all the polls and everything, but worse than Trump. And Trump had the entire media trashing him on an hourly basis.
Yeah, constantly.
And
they still do, and he's still more popular than Biden.
Exactly. They just hate him. He's too successful. The county picks a manager for the contract in the new administration building. I haven't really got that involved in that. I can't see myself being in favor of a new administration building.
Why?
It's $36 million.
Okay.
And it's not like, we have space. It's an old building. It's 100 years old, which I think is kind of cool too.
It's kind of cool, but it's an old building.
I like it.
I remember going to visit your office. And it was like,
it's awesome.
There was like a weird staircase to get up there. Yeah, it's kind of.
I liked it.
Yeah, well, I guess it has some charm to it, but
it worked.
It worked, but it wasn't the greatest. Yeah.
No, but we'll upgrade it for $36 million. And look, there's I drive an old car. I mean, I could upgrade it for $100,000, but no, I'm not big into that. But that's what they're going through when they finally picked the contractor, and I don't have a problem with the construction manager bit. Where they're going to have a construction manager that's over it all, and it's from somebody out of town. But look, we're limited on big businesses that can do all those things, and then we need to look positively and make sure that we get local contractors involved too, like Pilkington, which they are, and I think it's all fine. Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
Say, Russ, before you go off the air,
yeah,
you might want to mention Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil is owned by Oprah Winfrey. The show is.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Dr. Phil's show is produced and owned by the Oprah Winfrey production outfit. That whatever their name of it was. Anyway, he had CRT, a debate for the whole hour on CRT. My point is, they are really getting worried about conservative elections. They're really worried.
Oh yeah, they are.
Yeah,
that's good.
Dr. Phil is as liberal as they get. You know that.
Well, he's being supported by Trump. He's been saying Republican ideals.
You're talking about you're thinking about the other guy,
Dr. Phil. There's only one Dr. Phil.
He's been supported by Trump.
Yeah, I think so.
I never knew that.
Oh, I might be wrong then.
You're thinking of Dr. Oz.
Dr. Oz, who I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of Dr. Oz. My apologies.
Yeah, you're thinking of Dr. Oz.
Okay.
Thank you, Johnny.
Oh, that's all good.
Johnny,
that's
you're
what
on
I'm here
top of
for.
it.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, because I almost ruined my point. Thanks to you, Johnny. We're making a point. No, Dr. Phil is owned by Oprah Winfrey Production Company.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, she does. She makes money off that guy. Anyway, he had a whole slew of. I tried to get a hold of you yesterday because I thought you might want to pull it up and kind of screen it. But they're really worried. They're really worried. He had a pro CRT trying to lie and say it wasn't what it was. They had a pro black guy that is against CRT, and had a whole slew of them. It wasn't a good debate because it was set up for to be a null and void at the end of it. Nobody won. You follow what I'm saying?
Yep. Yeah, there wasn't an honest openness. I mean, they were looking for results.
No way. It was a closed conversation. They made a few points that they wanted to make and get out, and that was it. And at the end of the show, they said, "Did we all understand what we before we started?" Oh yeah. But that was for the public's indoctrination point of view. You follow?
Yeah.
Because power suggestion, remember? You can tell them they're drinking a glass of tea, and it can be Coca-Cola or vice versa. You give them a glass of Coca-Cola and tell them it's tea, and they'll be spitting it out.
Well, I appreciate that, buddy. Thanks. Take care. Bye-bye. I brought up the article real quick while he was on the phone. Yeah, and I got Oz and Phil confused. My apologies. Thanks for strutting.
Yeah, no worries.
You saved me. Oh, darn it. I lost it. He's talking about being divisive. It is divisive. There's no question about that. But one of the teacher said she believes children need to learn about the racist history in the U.S. Well, Johnny, you're younger than me. You grew up in the public school system, I take it.
Mm-hmm.
Did you learn about racist history in the United States? I mean, did you learn about slavery and civil rights and all that stuff?
So we learned a little bit about that. Yeah.
Okay. I'm saying we all learned about
Yeah.
it. I mean, there was no cover up as far as
there wasn't a cover up or anything.
there was nothing like that. I mean, it was all
The
discussed.
Emancipation Proclamation.
I mean, we didn't spend whole, months on it or anything, but yeah, we studied the Civil War.
Yeah,
and,
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, for sure.
So, but to say it wasn't covered, but like the CRT goes a whole different way, though. I mean, it starts talking about a history that just doesn't exist. Like the United States was developed in the 1600s or something. Well, no, it wasn't.
CRT, obviously, it's a critical race theory, so it's a theory that they use to be able to get some of their ideas through.
Yeah, and they just want to keep racism alive or something,
and that what I think I'm looking at maybe the same article you're looking at. That's what the counterpoint was on that Dr. Phil show. It looked like the guy was saying that CRT just keeps racism alive.
Yeah, it makes us all victims, or or you're one of the ones that are creating anger, or you're a victim, or separates people into
separation
tribes.
Because that's again, to me, it's that's what it is. It's the elite versus us. It's the have yachts and the have nots. That's the key. And they try to keep us divided down here at the bottom.
Yeah.
Over race and nonsense and arguing, and it's just stupid, and we shouldn't fall for it.
One of the questions here is who were the founding fathers? They were not a monolithic group. Some wanted a reconciliation with England instead of independence after the issues were resolved. Absolutely, they were not a monolithic group. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
That was a group that got together of intelligent men talking about ideas versus emotion. And some of them did want different things. I mean, it was not an easy, deal, and then getting on to writing the Constitution and all that stuff. If you ever seen the movies on all that and seen some of the stuff that they went through to get all that stuff done, because they had different, just like today we have different ideas. But I don't think we quite had the cancel culture we do, then now that they didn't have it then.
They didn't have it now. Yeah.
And all that kind of stuff. And something that was interesting is, after Trump was elected, remember all the Republicans signed that form, the Republican candidates for president. They made them sign a form that they would support whoever's nominated. And they did that for Trump's benefit because they figured Trump was going to lose, and they wanted to make sure he didn't go rogue and destroy the party or something.
Mm-hmm.
So Trump signed it, everybody signed it. And then they didn't do it. It was just so weird. But the founding fathers were better at it than us. People that they disagreed with, they still.
Well, I think it's because the opportunity that was before them, that was like, when you have opportunity like that, you got to make certain compromises to a certain degree, right? So I think that probably played into it. Not that they were better men. I don't believe that through time.
Oh my God, no. But I think there was a better devotion to country, versus a devotion to career. And we get too much devotion to career now, not enough devotion to country and what's good for the people. I mean, these guys were wealthy, and they had a devotion to country.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. And now we get a lot of politicians, not all, but a lot of politicians, they get devoted to career and know that if they become, a high-ranking official, they get a lot of money.
Yeah.
These guys had money. Like Trump, he had money. He wasn't after money. He was after the country, to make the country.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Trump was as rich as Putin, but he has money, and these guys were willing to sacrifice. I think a lot of politicians today know they're going to upgrade their lives wherever they are. They're going to upgrade their lives to become a politician at that rank, at that level. Where Trump knew that, he had a place in Mar-a-Lago that was nicer than the White House.
Yeah, that's true.
It wasn't quite an upgrade for him. and it was about patriotism, and that's what the founding fathers were. But they didn't agree on a lot of stuff. I mean,
no, and that's okay.
There was
right?
different ways to go.
Yeah, there was different. They like even some of them.
But to say the founding fathers, that's like saying Congress. To me, founding fathers, a group of people, not an idea.
Yeah, it was a group of people with
like saying Congress is a group of people.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Yeah, but founding fathers were pretty remarkable in what they got accomplished. And it's pretty amazing what they gave us,
mm-hmm.
and hopefully we don't destroy it. So it was a good question, though. That I really haven't talked about this. I mean, a little bit about the mass shooting in Highland Park. You know what happened during the 4th of July parade? Did you see the video of it?
No, I don't.
I haven't seen it.
I don't want to watch that stuff.
I haven't seen it, but apparently it looked like he was shooting from a rooftop.
Oh, well.
Yeah. And the guy's name is Robert Bobby Cremo III. He's a person of interest. Yeah, he was driving a silver Honda Fit. Sounds like a creep, right?
I did see one of his rap videos.
Really?
Yeah, I did. Somebody posted one of his music videos on.
He was known as
Instagram.
Awake the Rapper.
Yeah.
He was born in September 2000. He's a kid, man.
Young.
He's a child. And he's from the area of Chicago's northern suburb. What a horrific way to start off out. Just amazing. Than you wouldn't expect, and a lot of times we don't know when we leave the house. What's going to happen, what's not going to happen. But that's why we prepare. And you got to appreciate those guys that do carry concealed weapons and stuff to hopefully never need it or whatever. But there's quite a few people there that wish they had one. Although from a rooftop, I don't know
what you can do.
What you could do at that point, even with a concealed weapon, to defend yourself. He was in custody shortly after. They found him pretty quickly. I mean, one thing about being on a rooftop is you got to come down. There's only a lot of ways to come. There's not a lot of ways to come down. They're going to find you, probably. 6 dead, 30 injured. That's just a horror scene. Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
Yeah, Russ. I was reading a few comments about the shooting in Highland Park, and obviously a lot of details will come out. It's pretty early yet, and we really don't know.
Right.
But one comment was, well, the guy was at least 100 feet away. How could anybody engage him with a handgun if they had one? Well, actually, fairly easily. I mean, hitting a head-sized target at 100 feet is not difficult for somebody who knows what they're doing with a handgun.
Yeah.
And, not everybody can do it, but a lot of people can. And once they come under fire, these shooters almost invariably stop shooting other people.
Oh gosh,
Now,
yes. They're not going into it for combat.
Yeah, there are exceptions, but generally if they come under fire, they stop killing a bunch of people.
Yeah.
So, and we still don't know, and I've looked quite a bit, what type of firearm he used. All that I have heard is that it was, quote, legally obtained.
Right.
Which in Illinois requires you to obtain a firearms identification card, go through, I think, a couple of background checks. And in Highland Park, they have outlawed assault weapons and 30 round, any magazine of more than 10 rounds. So I had also heard that his father was running for city council in Highland Park a little bit ago. So maybe he lives in Highland Park. I don't know.
It says he grew up in there. At least this one says he grew up in that area. So you would think he still lives there.
I've now seen some pictures of the person. He has not yet been arrested, I don't think, and charged with anything.
Oh,
They just call him a person of interest.
No, he was picked up. I saw him with his face down with the cops grabbing him. Yeah.
Right. But I mean, that doesn't mean he's been charged.
No. And they want to be careful on that. Something big like this, they don't want to screw it up.
Well, that's right.
Yeah.
And so anyway, the idea that people with sidearms cannot engage somebody, there are a few, they're rare cases with people with pistols have stopped sniper type people or others at about 100 yards distance. In Florida, there was one that was a little further than that, I think 110, something like that.
Yeah,
so,
but like you mentioned, return fire is
it's
nothing they're probably prepared for generally.
Generally, you're right. And so, and with up in the air like that, the chances of somebody being hurt by a stray bullet coming down is infinitesimally smaller than the damage he is doing.
Correct.
So,
yeah,
there's, you definitely don't worry about where the bullet's coming down. You worry about suppressing the fire of the guy who's killing people.
Right.
So,
yeah. Appreciate the call, buddy. Thanks.
So, you're welcome.
All right, man. Bye-bye. Yeah, it's guys like that. Now, there have been exceptions. I remember one in Florida once. One of these guys were dressed in all kinds of armor, assault weapons. I think it was back in the 70s, where the police only had like 38 revolvers. They didn't have anything to compete.
Mm-hmm.
And they were shooting these guys, and the armor was keeping them from being injured, but they didn't stop. And that's when in fact, that case changed a lot of law enforcement. But if I remember right, they went to a gun store nearby and said, we need to arm up. And the police actually went in and got more lethal firearms.
Mm.
Of course, today we know the police do have those available, even in the trunk of the cars or something. They'll have something other than a small sidearm. I forget what that was. I don't know if that was a bank robbery, what went bad or not. I can't remember.
Sounds like a bank robbery the way you're describing it.
Yeah, it was something that was something that was life-changing for all police forces, because that was one of those things they looked at, like these police are returning fire, hitting the guys and doing no damage or very little damage, not enough damage to stop them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like Terminator stuff. I mean, it has to scare you. You think we need a bigger boat. We'll be right back. AM 560 KBLU.
Weather is brought to you by Ed Whitehead's Tire Pros, serving Arizona for over 20 years.
It is quite comfortable this morning with the drier air that's in place. It's a little bit cooler than what we typically see, and we'll stay pretty much on track with average July temperatures the next several days, and lots of sunshine. No rain in sight the rest of this week. 103 the high this afternoon, mid-70s overnight. Tomorrow, a little bit breezy, 105, and 105 the high Thursday. I'm meteorologist Terry Smith from the Weather Channel.
When it's hot, the last thing you want is your home's AC to quit on you. At 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating, our team of comfort specialists take the frustration out of the equation. From simple repairs to more complex fixes, we'll get you cool and comfortable quickly. Just call 928-783-4242 or visit onehouryuma.com.
Always on time, or you don't pay it time. Always on time, or you don't pay it time.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
AM 560 KBLU. Russ Clark back with you. Johnny's here.
Yeah.
I'm looking at a picture of this guy that just got picked up. He's he looks like a mass murderer.
Yeah, he looks strange.
He looks, he's a little different, I think. Ann Coulter writes, one gun control law I think we could all get behind is no guns for anyone with a face or neck tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
There he goes. Ann's finding compromise. We're finding compromise there. No face or neck tattoos, and you can have a gun. Yeah. Oh, Johnny's not in favor.
No,
You're not in favor.
I don't care. But this whole thing is weird to me. It's like, I don't know. I'm the type of guy that I want to wait to see all the information, what's going on, and
we don't know what all transpired, but
yeah.
I always want to know. I want to know what happened to him to cause that. Because I know it's not the gun that's violent. I know it's him. I mean, the left has not tricked me yet into believing the gun's violent.
Yeah, so let's get down to the find out. Like, even if it right now, like you said, he's just a person.
Yeah, what
of
caused?
interest.
Yeah, what caused him?
If it's even him, like,
If it is,
what is it? We have to wait.
They caught him right away, but I don't know. Yeah, we do have to wait.
Yeah.
Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
Good morning, you two again.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning again.
Hey, Russ, you were talking about that incident. It was a bank robbery, and the bullets actually bounced off of their armor.
Yeah, that's scary, right?
Yeah, that was quite. I don't remember what age I was at that time, but I remember seeing the video that they did, and the police were saying we cannot affect them. Something they're not stating, it's bouncing off of their armor, and they were just standing outside shooting away.
Yeah, and I think they were probably shooting the old 38 revolvers or something. I mean, it was nothing of today's firepower. I mean, today the police are shooting something else, but yeah, it did change everything for the police at the time. That this in today's society, this isn't going to help us stop crime or help us stop somebody that's gone nuts, whatever. Thank you, buddy. Take care. Bye. Yeah, that's when they upgraded.
Mm-hmm.
They realized their 38s are not going to be good for armor. Starts bouncing off. That's got to scare the police officer. Like, I'm hitting him.
Yeah, yikes.
Ouch. Speaking of guns, Abrams, George's favorite person, Stacey Abrams out of Georgia. And she of course lost the governorship last time, and she's never conceded. She says it was stolen. But she's allowed to because she's a Democrat.
Yeah.
You can't do that if you're a Republican, but you can do that if you're a Democrat. And she's been this very much on board with the anti-police.
Yeah, defund the police
and all that kind of stuff. And I think she's the one that got the was it the All-Star game or something? What was it, the baseball game, or it was the World Series or All-Star or something?
Yeah.
Moved out of Georgia.
Moved, yeah.
What was that issue about? But what did Abrams?
I don't remember what that was.
It doesn't even matter. It was just Abrams
that
did that. They got that pushed out. It costed Atlanta millions of dollars, of revenues and all that. And she's running again, obviously. And she has been running also on a defund the police program. She's been very heavy into that. And now she's saying, I do not and have never said and never have supported defunding the police.
Ah.
Yeah. She was on the Marguerite Cassie Foundation, who supported defunding police, abolishing the police, and sent millions to professors and scholars who advocated anti-capitalist and prison abolition views. And she was on the board, and the board, including Abrams, unanimously approved Answer the Uprising campaign in May of 21, involved increasing financial support to left-wing groups working on law enforcement issues, meaning and defund the police. Initiative also established a coalition with a grant-making organization and provided backing to defund the police groups. And so now she turns that in, and she also, openly talked about redirecting money.
Yeah,
she tried to dress it up, reformation and then transformation of law enforcement, but she didn't say abolish.
Yeah,
even though the policy she was pushing abolished police.
Well, would have took money out of the.
And now that she's running again, some of this information is coming out on how she lives life versus how she'd lip service life. There's a difference between living and lip service. The way she lives life, between December 21 and April 22. She doled out $450,000 to executive protection agencies, which is a security organization, to walk around and protect her. Because she was defunding police.
Yeah, so she has to, because again, it's the have nots and the have yachts, right?
Yeah,
She's one of
have
these
nots and have yachts. Okay.
Yeah, she's one of the ones that the part of the elite. She's in with the in group.
Yeah.
So she doesn't want you to be protected, but
Right.
she needs to be protected.
So if you live in a neighborhood and you can't that is crime ridden and you can't afford your private security and your police just left, you're in trouble. And she's an advocate for the police leaving.
Yeah.
When those neighborhoods need more policing, not less.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, that used to be the complaint at one time was the nicer neighborhoods. When I say nicer, I mean lower crime rates would have too many police, according to some, and they needed to ship them to the other neighborhoods that had more crime.
Yeah.
You know, now they're saying, no, defund the police. Nobody gets them. I think they're moving away from that now, aren't they?
What do you mean?
They're moving away from the defund the police rhetoric.
Oh,
from
yeah,
Black
they
Lives
are.
Matter
Yeah.
and stuff.
Oh, they're moving.
Abrams obviously running from it like as fast as she can run.
Yeah, they're moving away from it for sure because even the places that tried it failed.
Oh.
And there were some stories of some particular like anecdotal successes I've read where some stories ended up having some good outcomes where they just sent like a representative instead of a police officer to a certain domestic thing or whatever. But overall, they failed and they went back and they started to bolster up their police.
I would insist that the representative not have a firearm. Let's see how many volunteer for that.
Well, I think they don't. I don't think they did in that case. But anyway, there was just a few, like I read out of Oregon or something, that tried it. But yeah, you would definitely want to run from that. Look, here it is. I think you got that story from Fox News. It's just, but it's plain, right? You see that they want it for them and not for you. So stop voting for these people. Yeah. Look, you read something earlier where the people were talking, oh, it's the system, it's capitalism. We need to get rid of this. You'll see that. No, stop voting for the people that we have a decent system. Stop letting them in.
That's right.
That's it.
I want to give a shout out to Brian Deese again. He is the National Economic Council, the director of that works for Biden, that let us know the other day that there is a liberal world order. Have you heard the
clip?
The liberal world order.
Yeah, clip. that clip. Yeah, I saw that clip and I was like, what the heck is the liberal world order?
It's awesome. Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
Hey, Russ. This is Laura Knoll. How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing well. Good morning, Laura.
Hey, I was wondering on the issue of police. Has there ever been any proposition to improve the training and the preparation of the police force? Maybe requiring higher levels of education or more training that involves decision-making and procedures and protocol. It seems like our bar is set pretty low for what we allow as policemen into the force. I'm thinking that if we raise that bar a little bit, it might attract more competent people and also create a more competent force.
You ask me a question, and I don't have an exact answer, and my assumptions are that those things take care of. But, we have a training opportunity right here in Yuma that we have training. Let me make scheduling some people in to ask those questions and let them answer for themselves.
And if I understand correctly, it's very different community to community, the requirements they require for the police force. It's not like everyone's the same. So the potential is that someone could have less training, but have a lot of experience, and then they transfer into another police force that may require more training, but because the person has experience, they're allowed to come in. And I was just thinking, I wonder if that were more systemized, and then maybe the rigor of that raised up so that we would have higher quality police forces, even in little towns like Welton or somewhere like that, where we have small forces, but maybe we could have better trained people.
Well,
Thanks, Russ.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye-bye. Everybody in the state of Arizona has to go through the same training if you're on the police force. I mean, there is a standard.
Oh, okay.
For the state, it's not different. I am definitely opposed to a national standard. We don't need a national police force. Mm-hmm. I like the fact that states run states. I'm looking for at my phone trying to find Wilmot. Here it is. Oh, he says it takes 1 year from hire to the road. Because I know I had that. We were talking about how long it takes to replenish a police force. You can't just hire them and say, "Okay, here's your territory. Go help
Yeah,
out."
go do it.
And it's 1 year from hire to the road. So, I'll ask our good sheriff. I haven't had him in for a while. I ask our good sheriff to come in and talk to the training on that kind of stuff, and maybe he could recommend somebody from the local school here that trains and talk about that perception that exists. Obviously, because I wouldn't have got a call otherwise.
Well, yeah, she's talking about the funding for it and the.
Well, she's
and
talking about the
improve-
training.
Yeah,
Are we
impro-
getting
and-
the standardized training? Does Welton get the same training
Yeah, and,
as somebody downtown Phoenix,
and
which
improve-
has a definite different requirement? I mean, there's going to be a different clientele.
That's true.
Without question. We'll take a break and be right back. AM 560 KBLU.
This hour is brought to you by Hospice of Yuma, the Yuma community's only nonprofit hospice care. To receive the best hospice care, call 343-2222. Hospice of Yuma, there is a difference.
Hi, this is Tony Gwynn Jr., excited to be on 560 KBLU for San Diego Padres baseball. Get the games here and get the complete game schedule at KBLUAM.com.
Padres baseball on KBLU is brought to you in part by Paradise Casino Sportsbook. There's nowhere better to place your bets than Paradise Casino Sportsbook. So much, so close.
Quichan Casino Resort is celebrating with a bang during the Stars and Stripes Punch-Out Giveaway, July 2nd and 16th. Punch out a star to win cash. Then punch out a stripe to multiply your cash up to 10 times. You could win your share of over $55,000. Play with your Rewards Club card to earn entries. Not a member yet? Sign up today for the chance to win up to $1,000. So much, so close. Quichan Casino Resort.
Must be 21 and older. Management reserves all rights. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP 24/7 for problem gambling.
America's border is in crisis. Last year, 2 million illegal immigrants entered our country, more than the population of Phoenix. And now, the Biden administration is busing illegal immigrants with criminal convictions across America. Who can we trust to secure the border when the politicians keep selling us out? Brandon Judd of the National Border Patrol Council and Justin Harris of the Arizona Police Officers Association trust Jim Lehman for U.S. Senate.
I am so proud, and on behalf of the National Border Patrol Council, to endorse Jim Lehman.
The Arizona Police Officers Association is proud to announce our endorsement of Jim Lehman for the United States Senate.
I'm Jim Lehman. Join me. Together, we will stop the human smugglers, drugs, gangs, and politicians. Bring power back to the people of America and secure our border. I'm Jim Lehman, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Jim Lehman for Senate.
You may be right. I may be crazy. But it just may be a lunatic you're looking for. Turn out the lights. Don't try to save me. You may be wrong for all I know, but you may be right.
AM 560 KBLU. Russ Clark with you. Johnny's in studio, and I have a caller. Good morning.
Russ, that gunfight that changed all your police departments.
Yes.
There was a bank robbery, and one of those guys was a Russian, and the other one was from, I believe, Hungary. I remember it because they made a movie of it, and it was called 44 Minutes.
I do remember there being a movie or something on that. Yeah. It's been a while.
That's what it was. Yeah.
All right.
And it's pretty close to the truth too. If you watch the movie,
Yeah.
they went for accuracy, but that's those cops were going to gun stores and trying to get more powerful guns to go fight them with.
That's right. They were like, I need some help, man. Yeah.
And no one was showing up.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks.
Anyway,
bye. Speaking of, we had just had a shooting here. I read that there was one in Copenhagen, and which is rare. 22-year-old suspect's been arrested and admitted to a psychiatric facility. And he he killed 3 and wounded 7. And you say 5.8 million people live in the entire country. It's not a big country. And they have civilians are not allowed to own fully automatic. Well, here you can own them, but it's not easy. You have to get permitted and everything. Fully automatic firearms and semi-automatic. So you can't even get and handguns are only allowed to, with special authorization. So special authorization means like Chicago, well, even worse than Chicago, it means like New York, where you couldn't get permits, to carry, but you couldn't even own them. And Danish citizens wish to be licensed gun owners are required to demonstrate a genuine reason to possess a firearm, such as collection or for hunting. I imagine they mean for collecting, like if you're a Brinks armored truck driver or something. They also must be 18 years old, pass background checks, and include criminal and mental health record checks. Restrictive gun laws are regulated by the Ministry of Justice. So it looks like, how did the gun get? I mean, the guns are illegal. I mean, how could he have one? But he did.
Yeah, that's just one case, right?
And he was a local. He was an ethnically Danish guy. He was not a recent immigrant or anything, or somebody that broke into the country to cause those problems. So unfortunately, these kind of things happen everywhere. Small country, kind of. Is it hard for you to imagine a country that only has 5.8 million people?
Yeah.
Isn't that something?
For sure.
I was looking at some of the Baltic states and all, particularly with the Ukrainian war going on, and it's like Lithuania and some of those have a lot less than that. And yet they're donating weaponry to Ukraine. And Ukraine's only like 47 million. I mean, it's not now, but many people have fled. But 47 million, it was its normal residency before that happened, before all this broke out. Now, millions of people have gotten the heck out of Dodge. Women and children get going. Illegal for the men to leave.
Interesting.
Yeah, they stopped that. They said, you got to stay. Between certain ages, like, 8, I don't know what it was, but it was like 18 to 50 or something. I mean, it wasn't
fighting age.
Yeah, 50 or something. It wasn't just young, but they had to stay and help out. And that's part of why there still exists as a country, I imagine, is that they didn't say no. And it's been, I watch it a lot, Johnny. I watch it every day a little bit. The amount of weaponry that has been discharged has got to change the climate of the planet. I mean, it is amazing. It's like World War II type scenes over there of just constant mortar fire and artillery and stuff. And the Russians' tactics have been, we want this territory, so we're going to level the entire town. And they just shoot everything until nothing's there. And then they say, we took it. You just have a pile of rubble now. That's all you got. But they're looking for territory. I guess they don't care about infrastructure.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
We don't care about infrastructure.
They'll rebuild
or
it.
anything else. Kind of amazing what they're. And then the Ukrainians, after the Russians take the territory, they fire back at the same territory that's already leveled and continue leveling. So and then they get bad press saying they're shooting at their own people. Hopefully there's nobody there by then, we don't know. Don't know. It's been the craziest thing I've ever seen to watch some of the propaganda and to watch, some of the devastation. It's just mind boggling to know what comes with that. I mean, it's not a little thing. It's completely wiping out towns much bigger than Yuma. I mean, we're talking towns of 400,000 and 500,000 people that are just completely leveled. I mean, they never made it to Kyiv, which was the original goal, was to go into Kyiv. And I saw a really good article. I mean, not a good article, a good explanation YouTube on how they stopped that. Some stuff that wasn't out there early, but there's a town with an airport 15, 20 miles outside Kyiv that was a target to to go take that airport. And that was one of the very first things that the Russians, sent special forces in. And the National Guard of Ukraine was outgunned and outnumbered, and they took off and then came right back like the next day and completely took out the special forces. And then they shelled the runway while there was multiple large aircraft in the air coming to land there, Russian troops that would have found their base at that airport in order to complete the invasion of Kyiv from that area, which was very close at the airport. And they had them all in the air. They were flying, and Ukrainians just tore the runway up themselves. They just shelled it, and they completely wiped out all the special forces.
Interesting.
It was like only 1 or 2 people survived it from the whole thing, and the airplanes never landed. They had to turn around and go somewhere else. And then they did the backup plan was to send the tanks in, and we know that they ran out of fuel. They didn't have supplies. They were ambushed. They got stuck in mud and all that kind of stuff. But that wasn't their original plan. The original plan was to airlift everything in. And then when they went over the road, it failed miserably. And then they gave up the whole thing and said, let's just take the Donbass area. And a lot of reports are that they've expended, huge amounts of their armament, their planes, everything. I mean, the amount of stuff I read about the tanks, like they've lost 1,600, 1,700 tanks. And some of the Ukrainian tanks, people that are donating tanks to them, I mean, their whole countries may have 200. Russians had 12,000, according to
Oh, wow.
internet at the beginning of this thing, but a lot of them were vintage World War II and older, and questionable whether they were in service, but they've been bringing everything out. They've been bringing out tanks from the 60s, the 70s, everything's been going out. And they don't stop. I mean, they just keep throwing them at the Ukrainians are, they've now have a lot better firepower, not enough of it, but a lot better firepower. And they're obliterating tanks and things as they're coming. But the Russians have more and more and more, and they're just throwing people at it like crazy. It's just amazingly sad, to see this kind of thing. And then I watched a special this morning on some British guy that lives in Moscow, and he took a video tour of the largest mall there in Moscow, and there must have been 30 cars in the parking lot, and like 80% closures, and
wow.
there's like nothing there. Everybody's pulled out. Starbucks closed, Nike's closed, everybody's closed. They've all pulled out, and Kentucky Fried Chicken, McDonald's, never to come back, never going back to Russia ever. And everything is a ghost town. I mean, this mall is huge by anybody's standard and modern, and there's like nothing left. The shops that were open were maybe 10% maximum of what, and they were ill stocked. And reports on cars in Russia right now, spare parts are 10 times more than what they were costing.
Wow.
If you can get them, but you can't get them. Everything's been cut off, and they can't get new cars. Their civilian transportation is breaking, and the civilian airline industry can't get spare parts, and they've been robbing parts from each other's planes, making parts planes, and not keeping up. And we're only talking 4 months into this thing, and they're already failing. They can't get cars, they can't get car parts, they can't get. I mean, the whole world has cut them off completely. And Putin says that's not bothering us at all. It's not bothering us. Well, obviously, you don't go to the mall
Yeah.
because it doesn't exist anymore, and some of it's been closed up permanently. Like a lot of the shops that the guy that was doing the documentary showed where all the cash registers are gone, and all the fixtures have like barcodes that says what the prices are. I mean, they're selling fixtures, furniture, fixtures not to return.
Yeah, just getting out.
And that mall was owned by IKEA, and the IKEA shop is completely ended, and they sold all furniture, fixtures, and they've listed that their employees from IKEA can come back and buy out whatever's little's left, and they're just gonna eliminate it and be completely gone, and not not doing anything. Oh, wait a minute. I got Mr. Wilmot calling me.
Oh, so you
Leon.
phone call from him.
I'm training officers. Yeah, let me finish up my radio show. I'll call you right back. I got 2 more minutes. All right, buddy. Bye. That was our good sheriff wanting to help me out with training officers and all that kind of stuff. And
you texted him, and then so he responded with a call.
It's not unusual. He's responsive, and that's a lot of our elected officials and a lot of our elected leadership in this city and in this county. They don't hide.
Good
at all. I can usually get about anybody on the phone. Usually, there's some that won't, but those are not as common as one. And particularly, our sheriff has been. You know how many sheriffs we got in the state of Arizona?
I do not.
Or 15.
15?
There's only one per county.
Okay.
The sheriff of the county. There's only 15.
15 counties, 15 sheriffs.
That's all there is. Unlike a lot of states, some states have hundreds of counties. States are set up different.
Mm-hmm.
They're all set up differently. I get a chance to mention, but thousands of flights were delayed or canceled. 12,000 American airline flights did not have pilots because of a computer glitch in the hardware, the software that runs the scheduling of what days you get off and on and what days you're going to work. And there was a glitch in American Airlines, and it allowed thousands of American airline pilots to drop their scheduled flights.
Whoa.
Maybe they're all overworked. They wanted time off. They said, "Oh, look, I can drop it. I'm dropping it." And apparently, these pilots are all working max hours. Everybody. There's not enough right now. I guess people want to fly. So good luck with that. And if you got friends that are supposed to be back today to go to work, but they may still be in the Bahamas. You don't know. They can't get flights out. Johnny, thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you.
I'll be back tomorrow, AM 560, KBLU.